ninth home run, igniting a 4-run rally. Meche has gone 7 or more innings in 3 consecutive starts. Mike Mussina collected his 6th win in the home run rout of Chicago last time out. Moose allowed an early 3-run homer but settled down and struck out 6 in 6 innings. Royals GM Dayton Moore remains very private about Buddy Bell's successor. The speculation includes bench coach Billy Doran, ex-Royal greats Frank White and George Brett, along with Joe Girardi and Terry Pendleton as possible replacements next season. Jorge Posada and Johnny Damon were the only Yankee starters to go hitless yesterday. With Cabrera's fine play in center and a logjam at first, DH, and utility, Jason Giambi's return means Damon could be competing for playing time. It's the Royals and the Yankees in the finale. Meche takes on Mussina. First pitch is set for 1:05 p.m. at Yankee Stadium. You can see it live on MLB.tv, beginning at 1 p.m. Eastern. The Kansas City Royals try to avoid being swept by the New York Yankees in the finale of a historic week in the Bronx. Kansas City sends Gil Meche to the mound today, and he will be opposed by Mike Mussina. First pitch set for 1:05 p.m. at Yankee Stadium.
First pitch is hit high in the air, deep to left field. If this is fair, it could be. It is number 500 for Alex Rodriguez. Puts the Yankees in front.
Alex Rodriguez became the 22nd member of the 500 home run club. Now for a little history lesson. A-Rod hit his first career home run against the Royals as a 19-year-old and now becomes the youngest player to reach 500 homers. Rodriguez joins Babe Ruth and Mickey Mantle as the only players to reach 500 as a Yankee. He also is the only player in Major League history to have 10 consecutive years of at least 35 home runs, 100 RBIs, and 100 runs scored. Now to the facts of yesterday's game. The Yankees won 16-8 and had 21 hits that included 6 bombers with at least 3 hits. Melky Cabrera extended his hit streak to 10, and Robinson Cano's triple highlighted his 44th multi-hit game. Phil Hughes started strong but wilted in the 5th, coming within an out of factoring in the decision. The Yanks have scored 56 runs in 5 games to go 10 games over 500. Kyle Davies' initiation to the American League was historic, but personally disappointing. A-Rod's homer ignited the Yankees' offense and drove Davies from the game. He lasted only 3 innings and gave up 5 runs. David DeJesus, a product of nearby Rutgers University, extended his team-high hit streak to 13 games. Gil Meche will try to stop the bleeding today. The Royals ace held the Twins to 2 runs over 7 innings, but took the loss. Previous to that outing, he held the Yankees in check for 7 innings before allowing A-Rod's 499th home run, igniting a 4-run rally. Meche has gone 7 or more innings in 3 consecutive starts. Mike Mussina collected his 6th win in the home run rout of Chicago last time out. Moose allowed an early 3-run homer but settled down and struck out 6 in 6 innings. Royals GM Dayton Moore remains very private about Buddy Bell's successor. The speculation includes bench coach Billy Doran, ex-Royal greats Frank White and George Brett, along with Joe Girardi and Terry Pendleton as possible replacements next season. Jorge Posada and Johnny Damon were the only Yankee starters to go hitless yesterday. With Cabrera's fine play in center and a logjam at first, DH, and utility, Jason Giambi's return means Damon could be competing for playing time. It's the Royals and the Yankees in the finale. Meche takes on Mussina. First pitch is set for 1:05 p.m. at Yankee Stadium. You can see it live on MLB.tv, beginning at 1 p.m. Eastern. The Kansas City Royals try to avoid being swept by the New York Yankees in the finale of a historic week in the Bronx. Kansas City sends Gil Meche to the mound today, and he will be opposed by Mike Mussina. First pitch set for 1:05 p.m. at Yankee Stadium.
First pitch is hit high in the air, deep to left field. If this is fair, it could be. It is number 500 for Alex Rodriguez. Puts the Yankees in front.
Alex Rodriguez became the 22nd member of the 500 home run club. Now for a little history lesson. A-Rod hit his first career home run against the Royals as a 19-year-old and now becomes the youngest player to reach 500 homers. Rodriguez joins Babe Ruth and Mickey Mantle as the only players to reach 500 as a Yankee. He also is the only player in Major League history to have 10 consecutive years of at least 35 home runs, 100 RBIs, and 100 runs scored. Now to the facts of yesterday's game. The Yankees won 16-8 and had 21 hits that included 6 bombers with at least 3 hits. Melky Cabrera extended his hit streak to 10, and Robinson Cano's triple highlighted his 44th multi-hit game. Phil Hughes started strong but wilted in the 5th, coming within an out of factoring in the decision. The Yanks have scored 56 runs in 5 games to go 10 games over 500. Kyle Davies' initiation to the American League was historic, but personally disappointing. A-Rod's homer ignited the Yankees' offense and drove Davies from the game. He lasted only 3 innings and gave up 5 runs. David DeJesus, a product of nearby Rutgers University, extended his team-high hit streak to 13 games. Gil Meche will try to stop the bleeding today. The Royals ace held the Twins to 2 runs over 7 innings, but took the loss. Previous to that outing, he held the Yankees in check for 7 innings before allowing A-Rod's 499th home run, igniting a 4-run rally. Meche has gone 7 or more innings in 3 consecutive starts. Mike Mussina collected his 6th win in the home run rout of Chicago last time out. Moose allowed an early 3-run homer but settled down and struck out 6 in 6 innings. Royals GM Dayton Moore remains very private about Buddy Bell's successor. The speculation includes bench coach Billy Doran, ex-Royal greats Frank White, and George Brett, along with Joe Girardi and Terry Pendleton, as possible replacements next season. Jorge Posada and Johnny Damon were the only Yankee starters to go hitless yesterday. With Cabrera's fine play in center and a logjam at first, DH, and utility, Jason Giambi's return means Damon could be competing for playing time. It's the Royals and the Yankees in the finale. Meche takes on Mussina. First pitch is set for 1:05 p.m. at Yankee Stadium. You can see it live on MLB.tv, beginning at 1 p.m. Eastern. The Kansas City Royals try to avoid being swept by the New York Yankees in the finale of a historic week in the Bronx. Kansas City sends Gil Meche to the mound today, and he will be opposed by Mike Mussina. First pitch set for 1:05 p.m. at Yankee Stadium.
First pitch is hit high in the air, deep to left field. If this is fair, it could be. It is number 500 for Alex Rodriguez. Puts the Yankees in front.
Alex Rodriguez became the 22nd member of the 500 home run club. Now for a little history lesson. A-Rod hit his first career home run against the Royals as a 19-year-old and now becomes the youngest player to reach 500 homers. Rodriguez joins Babe Ruth and Mickey Mantle as the only players to reach 500 as a Yankee. He also is the only player in Major League history to have 10 consecutive years of at least 35 home runs, 100 RBIs, and 100 runs scored. Now to the facts of yesterday's game. The Yankees won 16-8 and had 21 hits that included 6 bombers with at least 3 hits. Melky Cabrera extended his hit streak to 10, and Robinson Cano's triple highlighted his 44th multi-hit game. Phil Hughes started strong but wilted in the 5th, coming within an out of factoring in the decision. The Yanks have scored 56 runs in 5 games to go 10 games over 500. Kyle Davies' initiation to the American League was historic, but personally disappointing. A-Rod's homer ignited the Yankees' offense and drove Davies from the game. He lasted only 3 innings and gave up 5 runs. David DeJesus, a product of nearby Rutgers University, extended his team-high hit streak to 13 games. Gil Meche will try to stop the bleeding today. The Royals ace held the Twins to 2 runs over 7 innings, but took the loss. Previous to that outing, he held the Yankees in check for 7 innings before allowing A-Rod's 499th home run, igniting a 4-run rally. Meche has gone 7 or more innings in 3 consecutive starts. Mike Mussina collected his 6th win in the home run rout of Chicago last time out. Moose allowed an early 3-run homer but settled down and struck out 6 in 6 innings. Royals GM Dayton Moore remains very private about Buddy Bell's successor. The speculation includes bench coach Billy Doran, ex-Royal greats Frank White, and George Brett, along with Joe Girardi and Terry Pendleton, as possible replacements next season. Jorge Posada and Johnny Damon were the only Yankee starters to go hitless yesterday. With Cabrera's fine play in center and a logjam at first, DH, and utility, Jason Giambi's return means Damon could be competing for playing time. It's the Royals and the Yankees in the finale. Meche takes on Mussina. First pitch is set for 1:05 p.m. at Yankee Stadium. You can see it live on MLB.tv, beginning at 1 p.m. Eastern. The Kansas City Royals try to avoid being swept by the New York Yankees in the finale of a historic week in the Bronx. Kansas City sends Gil Meche to the mound today, and he will be opposed by Mike Mussina. First pitch set for 1:05 p.m. at Yankee Stadium.
First pitch is hit high in the air, deep to left field. If this is fair, it could be. It is number 500 for Alex Rodriguez. Puts the Yankees in front.
Alex Rodriguez became the 22nd member of the 500 home run club. Now for a little history lesson. A-Rod hit his first career home run against the Royals as a 19-year-old and now becomes the youngest player to reach 500 homers. Rodriguez joins Babe Ruth and Mickey Mantle as the only players to reach 500 as a Yankee. He also is the only player in Major League history to have 10 consecutive years of at least 35 home runs, 100 RBIs, and 100 runs scored. Now to the facts of yesterday's game. The Yankees won 16-8 and had 21 hits that included 6 bombers with at least 3 hits. Melky Cabrera extended his hit streak to 10, and Robinson Cano's triple highlighted his 44th multi-hit game. Phil Hughes started strong but wilted in the 5th, coming within an out of factoring in the decision. The Yanks have scored 56 runs in 5 games to go 10 games over 500. Kyle Davies' initiation to the American League was historic, but personally disappointing. A-Rod's homer ignited the Yankees' offense and drove Davies from the game. He lasted only 3 innings and gave up 5 runs. David DeJesus, a product of nearby Rutgers University, extended his team-high hit streak to 13 games. Gil Meche will try to stop the bleeding today. The Royals ace held the Twins to 2 runs over 7 innings, but took the loss. Previous to that outing, he held the Yankees in check for 7 innings before allowing A-Rod's 499th home run, igniting a 4-run rally. Meche has gone 7 or more innings in 3 consecutive starts. Mike Mussina collected his 6th win in the home run rout of Chicago last time out. Moose allowed an early 3-run homer but settled down and struck out 6 in 6 innings. Royals GM Dayton Moore remains very private about Buddy Bell's successor. The speculation includes bench coach Billy Doran, ex-Royal greats Frank White, and George Brett, along with Joe Girardi and Terry Pendleton, as possible replacements next season. Jorge Posada and Johnny Damon were the only Yankee starters to go hitless yesterday. With Cabrera's fine play in center and a logjam at first, DH, and utility, Jason Giambi's return means Damon could be competing for playing time. It's the Royals and the Yankees in the finale. Meche takes on Mussina. First pitch is set for 1:05 p.m. at Yankee Stadium. You can see it live on MLB.tv, beginning at 1 p.m. Eastern. The Kansas City Royals try to avoid being swept by the New York Yankees in the finale of a historic week in the Bronx. Kansas City sends Gil Meche to the mound today, and he will be opposed by Mike Mussina. First pitch set for 1:05 p.m. at Yankee Stadium.
First pitch is hit high in the air, deep to left field. If this is fair, it could be. It is number 500 for Alex Rodriguez. Puts the Yankees in front.
Alex Rodriguez became the 22nd member of the 500 home run club. Now for a little history lesson. A-Rod hit his first career home run against the Royals as a 19-year-old and now becomes the youngest player to reach 500 homers. Rodriguez joins Babe Ruth and Mickey Mantle as the only players to reach 500 as a Yankee. He also is the only player in Major League history to have 10 consecutive years of at least 35 home runs, 100 RBIs, and 100 runs scored. Now to the facts of yesterday's game. The Yankees won 16-8 and had 21 hits that included 6 bombers with at least 3 hits. Melky Cabrera extended his hit streak to 10, and Robinson Cano's triple highlighted his 44th multi-hit game. Phil Hughes started strong but wilted in the 5th, coming within an out of factoring in the decision. The Yanks have scored 56 runs in 5 games to go 10 games over 500. Kyle Davies' initiation to the American League was historic, but personally disappointing. A-Rod's homer ignited the Yankees' offense and drove Davies from the game. He lasted only 3 innings and gave up 5 runs. David DeJesus, a product of nearby Rutgers University, extended his team-high hit streak to 13 games. Gil Meche will try to stop the bleeding today. The Royals ace held the Twins to 2 runs over 7 innings, but took the loss. Previous to that outing, he held the Yankees in check for 7 innings before allowing A-Rod's 499th home run, igniting a 4-run rally. Meche has gone 7 or more innings in 3 consecutive starts. Mike Mussina collected his 6th win in the home run rout of Chicago last time out. Moose allowed an early 3-run homer but settled down and struck out 6 in 6 innings. Royals GM Dayton Moore remains very private about Buddy Bell's successor. The speculation includes bench coach Billy Doran, Ex-Royal greats Frank White and George Brett, along with Joe Girardi and Terry Pendleton, as possible replacements next season. Jorge Posada and Johnny Damon were the only Yankee starters to go hitless yesterday. With Cabrera's fine play in center and a logjam at first, DH, and utility, Jason Giambi's return means Damon could be competing for playing time. It's the Royals and the Yankees in the finale. Meche takes on Mussina. First pitch is set for 1:05 p.m. at Yankee Stadium. You can see it live on MLB.tv, beginning at 1 p.m. Eastern. The Kansas City Royals try to avoid being swept by the New York Yankees in the finale of a historic week in the Bronx. Kansas City sends Gil Meche to the mound today, and he will be opposed by Mike Mussina. First pitch set for 1:05 p.m. at Yankee Stadium.
First pitch is hit high in the air, deep to left field. If this is fair, it could be. It is number 500 for Alex Rodriguez. Puts the Yankees in front.
Alex Rodriguez became the 22nd member of the 500 home run club. Now for a little history lesson. A-Rod hit his first career home run against the Royals as a 19-year-old and now becomes the youngest player to reach 500 homers. Rodriguez joins Babe Ruth and Mickey Mantle as the only players to reach 500 as a Yankee. He also is the only player in Major League history to have 10 consecutive years of at least 35 home runs, 100 RBIs, and 100 runs scored. Now to the facts of yesterday's game. The Yankees won 16-8 and had 21 hits that included 6 bombers with at least 3 hits. Melky Cabrera extended his hit streak to 10, and Robinson Cano's triple highlighted his 44th multi-hit game. Phil Hughes started strong but wilted in the 5th, coming within an out of factoring in the decision. The Yanks have scored 56 runs in 5 games to go 10 games over 500. Kyle Davies' initiation to the American League was historic, but personally disappointing. A-Rod's homer ignited the Yankees' offense and drove Davies from the game. He lasted only 3 innings and gave up 5 runs. David DeJesus, a product of nearby Rutgers University, extended his team-high hit streak to 13 games. Gil Meche will try to stop the bleeding today. The Royals ace held the Twins to 2 runs over 7 innings, but took the loss. Previous to that outing, he held the Yankees in check for 7 innings before allowing A-Rod's 499th home run, igniting a 4-run rally. Meche has gone 7 or more innings in 3 consecutive starts. Mike Mussina collected his 6th win in the home run rout of Chicago last time out. Moose allowed an early 3-run homer but settled down and struck out 6 in 6 innings. Royals GM Dayton Moore remains very private about Buddy Bell's successor. The speculation includes bench coach Billy Doran, ex-Royal greats Frank White and George Brett, along with Joe Girardi and Terry Pendleton, as possible replacements next season. Jorge Posada and Johnny Damon were the only Yankee starters to go hitless yesterday. With Cabrera's fine play in center and a logjam at first, DH, and utility, Jason Giambi's return means Damon could be competing for playing time. It's the Royals and the Yankees in the finale. Meche takes on Mussina. First pitch is set for 1:05 p.m. at Yankee Stadium. You can see it live on MLB.tv, beginning at 1 p.m. Eastern. The Kansas City Royals try to avoid being swept by the New York Yankees in the finale of a historic week in the Bronx. Kansas City sends Gil Meche to the mound today, and he will be opposed by Mike Mussina. First pitch set for 1:05 p.m. at Yankee Stadium.
First pitch is hit high in the air, deep to left field. If this is fair, it could be. It is number 500 for Alex Rodriguez. Puts the Yankees in front.
Alex Rodriguez became the 22nd member of the 500 home run club. Now for a little history lesson. A-Rod hit his first career home run against the Royals as a 19-year-old and now becomes the youngest player to reach 500 homers. Rodriguez joins Babe Ruth and Mickey Mantle as the only players to reach 500 as a Yankee. He also is the only player in Major League history to have 10 consecutive years of at least 35 home runs, 100 RBIs, and 100 runs scored. Now to the facts of yesterday's game. The Yankees won 16-8 and had 21 hits that included 6 bombers with at least 3 hits. Melky Cabrera extended his hit streak to 10, and Robinson Cano's triple highlighted his 44th multi-hit game. Phil Hughes started strong but wilted in the 5th, coming within an out of factoring in the decision. The Yanks have scored 56 runs in 5 games to go 10 games over 500. Kyle Davies' initiation to the American League was historic, but personally disappointing. A-Rod's homer ignited the Yankees' offense and drove Davies from the game. He lasted only 3 innings and gave up 5 runs. David DeJesus, a product of nearby Rutgers University, extended his team-high hit streak to 13 games. Meche will try to stop the bleeding today. The Royals ace held the Twins to 2 runs over 7 innings, but took the loss. Previous to that outing, he held the Yankees in check for 7 innings before allowing A-Rod's 499th home run, igniting a 4-run rally. Meche has gone 7 or more innings in 3 consecutive starts. Mike Mussina collected his 6th win in the home run rout of Chicago last time out. Moose allowed an early 3-run homer but settled down and struck out 6 in 6 innings. Royals GM Dayton Moore remains very private about Buddy Bell's successor. The speculation includes bench coach Billy Doran, ex-Royal greats Frank White, and George Brett, along with Joe Girardi and Terry Pendleton, as possible replacements next season. Jorge Posada and Johnny Damon were the only Yankee starters to go hitless yesterday. With Cabrera's fine play in center and a logjam at first, DH, and utility, Jason Giambi's return means Damon could be competing for playing time. It's the Royals and the Yankees in the finale. Meche takes on Mussina. First pitch is set for 1:05 p.m. at Yankee Stadium. You can see it live on MLB.tv, beginning at 1 p.m. Eastern. The Kansas City Royals try to avoid being swept by the New York Yankees in the finale of a historic week in the Bronx. Kansas City sends Meche to the mound today, and he will be opposed by Mike Mussina. First pitch set for 1:05 p.m. at Yankee Stadium.
First pitch is hit high in the air, deep to left field. If this is fair, it could be. It is number 500 for Alex Rodriguez. Puts the Yankees in front.
Alex Rodriguez became the 22nd member of the 500 home run club. Now for a little history lesson. A-Rod hit his first career home run against the Royals as a 19-year-old and now becomes the youngest player to reach 500 homers. Rodriguez joins Babe Ruth and Mickey Mantle as the only players to reach 500 as a Yankee. He also is the only player in Major League history to have 10 consecutive years of at least 35 home runs, 100 RBIs, and 100 runs scored. Now to the facts of yesterday's game. The Yankees won 16-8 and had 21 hits that included 6 bombers with at least 3 hits. Melky Cabrera extended his hit streak to 10, and Robinson Cano's triple highlighted his 44th multi-hit game. Phil Hughes started strong but wilted in the 5th, coming within an out of factoring in the decision. The Yanks have scored 56 runs in 5 games to go 10 games over 500. Kyle Davies' initiation to the American League was historic, but personally disappointing. A-Rod's homer ignited the Yankees' offense and drove Davies from the game. He lasted only 3 innings and gave up 5 runs. David DeJesus, a product of nearby Rutgers University, extended his team-high hit streak to 13 games. Meche will try to stop the bleeding today. The Royals ace held the Twins to 2 runs over 7 innings, but took the loss. Previous to that outing, he held the Yankees in check for 7 innings before allowing A-Rod's 499th home run, igniting a 4-run rally. Meche has gone 7 or more innings in 3 consecutive starts. Mike Mussina collected his 6th win in the home run rout of Chicago last time out. Moose allowed an early 3-run homer but settled down and struck out 6 in 6 innings. Royals GM Dayton Moore remains very private about Buddy Bell's successor. The speculation includes bench coach Billy Doran, ex-Royal greats Frank White, and George Brett, along with Joe Girardi and Terry Pendleton, as possible replacements next season. Jorge Posada and Johnny Damon were the only Yankee starters to go hitless yesterday. With Cabrera's fine play in center and a logjam at first, DH, and utility, Jason Giambi's return means Damon could be competing for playing time. It's the Royals and the Yankees in the finale. Meche takes on Mussina. First pitch is set for 1:05 p.m. at Yankee Stadium. You can see it live on MLB.tv, beginning at 1 p.m. Eastern. The Kansas City Royals try to avoid being swept by the New York Yankees in the finale of a historic week in the Bronx. Kansas City sends Meche to the mound today, and he will be opposed by Mike Mussina. First pitch set for 1:05 p.m. at Yankee Stadium.
First pitch is hit high in the air, deep to left field. If this is fair, it could be. It is number 500 for Alex Rodriguez. Puts the Yankees in front.
Alex Rodriguez became the 22nd member of the 500 home run club. Now for a little history lesson. A-Rod hit his first career home run against the Royals as a 19-year-old and now becomes the youngest player to reach 500 homers. Rodriguez joins Babe Ruth and Mickey Mantle as the only players to reach 500 as a Yankee. He also is the only player in Major League history to have 10 consecutive years of at least 35 home runs, 100 RBIs, and 100 runs scored. Now to the facts of yesterday's game. The Yankees won 16-8 and had 21 hits that included 6 bombers with at least 3 hits. Melky Cabrera extended his hit streak to 10, and Robinson Cano's triple highlighted his 44th multi-hit game. Phil Hughes started strong but wilted in the 5th, coming within an out of factoring in the decision. The Yanks have scored 56 runs in 5 games to go 10 games over 500. Kyle Davies' initiation to the American League was historic, but personally disappointing. A-Rod's homer ignited the Yankees' offense and drove Davies from the game. He lasted only 3 innings and gave up 5 runs. David DeJesus, a product of nearby Rutgers University, extended his team-high hit streak to 13 games. Gil Meche will try to stop the bleeding today. The Royals ace held the Twins to 2 runs over 7 innings, but took the loss. Previous to that outing, he held the Yankees in check for 7 innings before allowing A-Rod's 499th home run, igniting a 4-run rally. Meche has gone 7 or more innings in 3 consecutive starts. Mike Mussina collected his 6th win in the home run rout of Chicago last time out. Moose allowed an early 3-run homer but settled down and struck out 6 in 6 innings. Royals GM Dayton Moore remains very private about Buddy Bell's successor. The speculation includes bench coach Billy Doran, ex-Royal greats Frank White, and George Brett, along with Joe Girardi and Terry Pendleton, as possible replacements next season. Jorge Posada and Johnny Damon were the only Yankee starters to go hitless yesterday. With Cabrera's fine play in center and a logjam at first, DH, and utility, Jason Giambi's return means Damon could be competing for playing time. It's the Royals and the Yankees in the finale. Meche takes on Mussina. First pitch is set for 1:05 p.m. at Yankee Stadium. You can see it live on MLB.tv, beginning at 1 p.m. Eastern. The Kansas City Royals try to avoid being swept by the New York Yankees in the finale of a historic week in the Bronx. Kansas City sends Gil Meche to the mound today, and he will be opposed by Mike Mussina. First pitch set for 1:05 p.m. at Yankee Stadium.
First pitch is hit high in the air, deep to left field. If this is fair, it could be. It is number 500 for Alex Rodriguez. Puts the Yankees in front.
Alex Rodriguez became the 22nd member of the 500 home run club. Now for a little history lesson. A-Rod hit his first career home run against the Royals as a 19-year-old and now becomes the youngest player to reach 500 homers. Rodriguez joins Babe Ruth and Mickey Mantle as the only players to reach 500 as a Yankee. He also is the only player in Major League history to have 10 consecutive years of at least 35 home runs, 100 RBIs, and 100 runs scored. Now to the facts of yesterday's game. The Yankees won 16-8 and had 21 hits that included 6 bombers with at least 3 hits. Melky Cabrera extended his hit streak to 10, and Robinson Cano's triple highlighted his 44th multi-hit game. Phil Hughes started strong but wilted in the 5th, coming within an out of factoring in the decision. The Yanks have scored 56 runs in 5 games to go 10 games over 500. Kyle Davies' initiation to the American League was historic, but personally disappointing. A-Rod's homer ignited the Yankees' offense and drove Davies from the game. He lasted only 3 innings and gave up 5 runs. David DeJesus, a product of nearby Rutgers University, extended his team-high hit streak to 13 games. Gil Meche will try to stop the bleeding today. The Royals ace held the Twins to 2 runs over 7 innings, but took the loss. Previous to that outing, he held the Yankees in check for 7 innings before allowing A-Rod's 499th home run, igniting a 4-run rally. Meche has gone 7 or more innings in 3 consecutive starts. Mike Mussina collected his 6th win in the home run rout of Chicago last time out. Moose allowed an early 3-run homer but settled down and struck out 6 in 6 innings. Royals GM Dayton Moore remains very private about Buddy Bell's successor. The speculation includes bench coach Billy Doran, ex-Royal greats Frank White, and George Brett, along with Joe Girardi and Terry Pendleton, as possible replacements next season. Jorge Posada and Johnny Damon were the only Yankee starters to go hitless yesterday. With Cabrera's fine play in center and a logjam at first, DH, and utility, Jason Giambi's return means Damon could be
Liga Americana. Así que
none better than Robinson Cano. When we come back, Bobby and I will break down Cano right here on Yes. Well, the Yankee offense has certainly been rolling of late. In yesterday's ball game, they scored 16 runs on 21 hits and winning the second game of this three-game series against the Kansas City Royals. Today, they go for the sweep. Hi, everybody. I'm Ken Singleton, along with Bobby Mercer. John Flaherty will be joining us in just a moment. And Bobby, recently, Robinson Cano, the Yankee second baseman, has been as hot as anybody in the league. When you check the numbers out, I think they would verify the Yankees have a young star on their hands.
I would say those are pretty impressive numbers. 11 for his last 20. His average is now in that streak, 550, 3 home runs, 9 RBIs, 8 runs.
Now, Bobby, what do you think the Yankees have actually Robinson Cano? Because this guy be an all-star year in and year out.
Oh, I think so. I mean, from the very moment we saw him, I think you and I were doing the game when they made the call-up with Cano and Wong in the early Aprils. When we saw him, we saw the tools that the minor leagues were seeing of him, and the reason that he came to the big leagues very quickly. I think he's going to win a batting title one day. I mean, once he learns that strike zone, I think Robinson Cano is going to be a 300 hitter the rest of his life.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me, especially the way he's been swinging him at now, if he has a batting title in his future. We got the lineups. First pitch coming up next on Yes. Of the Yankees. Honda. See your Honda dealer and discover the great values now being offered. And by Heineken. It's all about the beer. Heineken. What a day for baseball here in the Bronx. The humidity is gone. Very comfortable here at the ballpark in the Bronx. And Mike Messina's on the mound looking for a victory and a Yankees sweep. And the Royals starting lineup is presented by Rico. These are the hitters that Mike will face this afternoon. Leading off is David DeJesus. He's having a good series here in the Bronx against the Yankees. Esteban Herman will be at second base today. He'll bat second. Martin will be in right field. Amil Brown will be the designated hitter, and he'll bat fourth. Ross Gload, his career against the Yankees. He's hitting .500 with a home run, 9 runs batted in. That's in 13 ball games. Ross Gload will be batting fifth. Alex Gordon, the rookie third baseman. Then John Buck, the catcher. Joey Gathright will be in left field. And Tony Pena Jr. will be at shortstop. He'll be batting ninth.
That Royals lineup is going to go to work against Mike Mussina this season, making his 19th start, and he's looking to get to .500. 6-7, ERA 4.75. He's won his last 2 decisions, so he's on a good run right now. Take a look at our Land Rover pitcher scouting report, and Moose is looking to get hot. Said he's won his last 2. He has not gotten hot all year. Yankees are hoping the last 2 months he kind of finds it, finishes up strong, and change the pace. We're going to look for some more changeups from Mike Mussina. Such a good pitch for him last year. He's kind of gotten away from it this year. And stay away from Ross. Ross Gload, you mentioned the good numbers, Kenny, against the Yankees. He's also 4 for 7 against Mike Mussina with 3 doubles.
Well, Mussina will be facing David DeJesus. I mentioned DeJesus has been swinging the bat well. He's got a 13-game hitting streak as he steps in. And he's done a good job in the leadoff spot for the Royals this year. And we await the first pitch of the ball game. Here it comes. And it is swung on and lifted in the air to right center field. Abreu and Abreu will converge, but it's going to be the right fielder, Bobby Abreu, who makes the catch for out number 1.
Let's take a look at the rest of the Yankee defense. Matsui, Cabrera, you saw Abreu make that first out. Phillips, Cano, Jeter, Betemit, Wilson Betemit getting the start. His first start at third base this afternoon. Alex Rodriguez will be the designated hitter, so he'll get a little rest in that dugout in between at bats. And of course, Jorge Posada behind home plate.
There is Wilson Betemit at third. Alex Rodriguez will be the designated hitter this afternoon for the Yankees, as Joe Torre didn't want to give him a complete day off. But here's Esteban Herman, who's playing at second base this afternoon. The veteran Mark Grudzielanek getting the afternoon off, and that pitch is in there for a call strike. Herman can play just about anywhere. Second, a little bit of shortstop, third, and the outfield. And the 0-1 pitch, high and away, and it's a ball and a strike. IO Digital Cable is the exclusive official HD sponsor for Yankees telecast on Yes. 1-1, the count on Herman. Lays down a bunt. Mussina bounds off the bat, is up with it, and throws him out. Well, there are 2 down here in the first inning.
Wrong guy to try to bunt on. Mike Mussina. Many Gold Gloves. As a pitcher, he's got 6 of them, as a matter of fact. If you're going to be bunting, you need to bunt for a perfect bunt. And that's too far close to the mound. And anytime that you try to bunt for a base hit, if you don't bunt it perfect, you should bunt it foul, in my opinion. You don't want to give up an out like that right there, which turned into be an easy out.
So 2 up and 2 down will bring up the number 3 hitter, and that's Martin. He's on base 4 times yesterday. First pitch is downstairs for ball 1. Martin is 3 for 7 in this series, and he's been on base 5 times in the previous 2 games. Maybe a little down in the power numbers this year, but still a pretty good looking ball player for these Kansas City Royals. Young outfielder. That pitch is high, and it's ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Yankee baseball is broadcast in Spanish. It's available by hitting the SAP button on your television. SAP is brought to you by Toyota, a smart way to keep moving forward. Two-0 pitch hits the corner nicely, and it's 2-1.
Guys, one thing that we need to pay attention, Mike Mussina has kind of found a little bit more velocity lately. That last pitch, 88 miles an hour, he's kind of dropped his arm angle a little bit. You know, we used to see that more from him in years past. He'd be up over the top, and then he would drop down to the side.
Curveball is hit towards center field, and it's going to be a base hit. First hit of the game goes to Martin.
And Mike is a guy who can change arm angles. He'll go up over the top. He'll drop down. If you watch this pitch right here, he drops down a little bit to 3/4, and it's a curveball. Not a bad pitch. Tien just stays with and drives it up the middle. But he's found a little bit more velocity from the 3/4 arm slot. Gets him up to maybe 88, 89, and gives him a little bit of movement. So we're seeing Moose make some adjustments on the fly here during the season, trying to create a little bit more velocity, a little bit more deception. And it's worked out for him his last couple of starts.
He's going to have to keep an eye on Martin over at first. He has stolen 10 bases. Amil Brown, the veteran outfielder, makes his first appearance of the series. He's the designated hitter, batting in the cleanup spot for the Royals. And first pitch is poured in there for a call strike.
That's the reason that you can stay around for a little bit longer than most players, is because you are able to make adjustments. I mean, not only do pitchers have to make adjustments during the course of their career, but also hitters and infielders. So being able to recognize the adjustments that you need to make and being able to make those in a contest when you're competing, that'll keep you around for a long time and make you successful.
Next pitch to Brown, maybe a little low, and it's a ball and a strike.
I hear some guys talk flash. They say, well, why should I adjust? This is what got me here. You know what I'm saying? But it may not sustain you over a long period of time. So they get pretty hard-headed about it, and they say, well, it'll come back, or I'll be able to deal with it.
Next pitch to Brown, hit on the ground, and Derek Jeter has it, flips to Cano for the force, and the Royals are retired here at the top of the first. They pick up a hit, but nothing else against Mike Mussina. It's the Royals nothing. The Yankees coming to bat here at Yankee Stadium. Lineup presented by Rico. Melky Cabrera in center field will be leading off. Derek Jeter will be at shortstop. Bobby Abreu, like most of the Yankees, been swinging a hot bat his last 5 games. 3 home runs, 9 runs batted in, and he's 11 for 19. Alex Rodriguez will be the DH today, and he will be batting in the cleanup spot. Hideki Matsui in left. Jorge Posada will do the catching. Robinson Cano will be at second base. Wilson Betemit gets the start at third. Danny Phillips will bat ninth, and he'll be playing first base.
Well, Gil Meche is going to have his hands full with that Yankee lineup. They've been firing on all cylinders lately, but the number's pretty good. 3.7 ERA, 152 hits in the 148 innings. Strikeouts not bad, 105. Take a look at the Land Rover pitcher scouting report. Dayton Moore's statement. Dayton Moore, the general manager of the Royals, went out and signed Gil Meche, 5 years, $55 million. That's a statement right there from the general manager. And an early riser. He's got good numbers in day games, 3.67 ERA compared to 4.85 at night. And 5.01 maybe for Alex Rodriguez. He's got good numbers off of Gil Meche, including 4 home runs.
And the first pitch to Melky Cabrera is low for ball 1. In fact, A-Rod hit number 499 off that shit, Kansas City. 10-game hitting streak for Melky Cabrera. And he lets a fly ball near the line. Might be twisting towards foul territory. Long run for Gathright, and he makes the catch and tumbles into the seats. Well, speed paid off for Gathright there. Looks like he might have injured himself slightly, but a nice round of applause here at the stadium.
I was watching Jerry Meals. He's a third base umpire, and he gave the fair sign, and then after Gathright fell into the stadium, he gave the foul sign. Well, good play by Gathright. He's got a lot of speed. He can cover a lot of ground out there, and that's a difficult play right there. That looked like it was in foul territory.
Well, either way, he caught it.
So Mills had his mix-up there, right and left hand.
Heck of a play by Gathering. He might have injured his hip, but he's staying in there. And here is Derek Jeter. Derek 3 for 8 in this series against the Royals. And first pitch is a call strike. Derek today is playing in his 1789th Yankee game, which ties Hall of Famer Bill Dickey for 7th place on the all-time Yankee list in games played. There's a pitch fouled off, and it's 0-2 to Jeter. Just the other day, he passed Don Mattingly on that list.
Bye-bye, Donnie.
Yeah. He's in the rearview mirror now, right, Bob?
He's going to pass a lot of guys.
There is Don Mattingly, the Yankee bench coach. Jeter checks the swing, fouls it back. Half remains, no balls and 2 strikes. Jeter will be followed by Bobby Abreu here in the bottom of the first inning. And speaking of all-time lists, how about the home run list? He's just one behind his good buddy Tino Martinez. And then there's Bill Dickey just ahead of 2 of them. Hit hard towards the middle, and Derek has himself a base hit. So Jeter had 3 hits yesterday. He's got a lead a single in his first at bat today. And that is the first hit of the afternoon for the Yankees.
You said it, Kenny. 3 hits yesterday. It's a curveball that's up in the zone. You can see it right there. And Meche has a good fastball, 94 miles an hour, a power curve. This one just up in the zone, and Derek is able to stay back, drive it right back up the middle. Meche, one of those guys known as a power arm, power fastball, power curve, good slider, and a changeup. The Yankees have been swinging the bat well, but they're going to have to earn it off of this tough right-hander.
Well, Meche, going back to when he was first drafted, the Mariners thought enough of him to make him a #1 pick back in 1996. He was the Royals All-Star representative this year in San Francisco. And he's from Lafayette, Louisiana. He was born there. Abreu takes a pitch for a call strike. Now, Abreu, well, you got Cano, you got Abreu, you got Melky Cabrera, you got A-Rod, you got Matsui. Anybody? Andy Phillips has been swinging well. Betemit since he got here. Jorge Posada's been hot all year. Is there anybody you can pitch around today? This ball is hit well towards right field. But Mark Tian is there, and he will make the catch for out number 2, and that'll bring up, well, Mr. 500 for yesterday, Alex Rodriguez. He should get a nice round of applause. Well, a standing ovation for Alex Rodriguez. His first at bat this afternoon here at the stadium. It was yesterday on the first pitch that he saw. He hit number 500 into the lower deck in left field. And takes a curveball from Meche in there for a call strike.
Now, we mentioned that Scott Boras, his agent, was in town yesterday, and from what I understand, talking to some people, that Scott Boras didn't fly in here to talk about contract or anything like that. He just had he took a red eye from Los Angeles into New York, got here because he had a feeling that A-Rod was going to hit his 500th home run.
Well, outside of your family, I guess your agent knows you best.
I guess so.
He showed up and got the job done. Now, did he go right back to L.A. or is he still here?
I think he's still here.
He's probably talking to Brian Cashman today.
I don't know about that. Be a good day to start the conversation, right? As far as Boras is concerned.
Now there is Joe Torre, and we mentioned yesterday that Joe Torre actually saw a 500th home run from a closer vantage point than being in the dugout. Years ago, he was on deck when Hank Aaron hit his 500th home run with the Braves.
And that says a lot about Joe and the player that he was. I mean, he was backing up Hank Aaron in the lineup.
He was Hank's protection.
He was Hank's protection.
Yeah. No balls and 2 strikes on A-Rod. Jeter's at first with 2 down. The Yankees coming off yesterday's 16-8 victory over the Royals and won the first 2 games of this series. Low and away, and it's ball 1. And this is Joe's reaction. I don't know if he had this reaction when Hank hit his, but that's the reaction yesterday. He said that's fair. And that home run gave the Yankees a 3-0 lead in the first inning.
Joe said about that at bat, he said, you know, and back in those days, he said, I was stupid. He said, I didn't get any memorabilia. I didn't ask anybody to sign anything. I didn't get the scorecard. He said, I wished I had it, but I didn't. And of course, in those days, you know, we didn't think about memorabilia. Nobody thought about what it would turn out to be today.
I'll tell you what, Alex was thinking of his teammates and probably the coaches as well, because after the game he signed bats and handed them out to everybody on the club.
Every team. They had family day here at Yankee Stadium after the game, and that's when he did that. It's a great gesture on A-Rod's part, and the families had a big barbecue out into the Monument Park area, and everybody had a good time. So it was a good day all around for the Yankees and the Yankee family.
2 balls and 2 strikes now on A-Rod.
It's probably my favorite part, watching his teammates kind of celebrate out on the field with them. You know, being average players, you're able to experience an extraordinary talent and be part of his 500th home run. A big thrill for his teammates.
Swing and a miss. Looked like a changeup got him, and that'll be it for the Yankees here in the first inning. Derek Jeter had a single, but he was stranded at first at the end of 1 here at Yankee Stadium on a beautiful Sunday afternoon. There is no score. A chance. Let's take a look at the JNR Music and Computer World upcoming schedule. Remember, tomorrow is a day game as the Yankees take to the road. They'll be at Rogers Center to take on the Blue Jays Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Tuesday night, Wednesday night at 7. All 3 games on Yes and HD were available. And then they go to Cleveland. They'll take on the Cleveland Indians. That's important games all. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday over the weekend at Jacobs Field. But as for today, we're here at Yankee Stadium, and Mike Mussina will deal to Ross Globe, and he starts him with a hook, and he drops it in there for a strike. Now, the reason why tomorrow is a day game in Toronto is because tomorrow is Canadian Labor Day. And,
is that what they call Boxing Day?
It's called a civic holiday.
Civic holiday.
Yeah, but it translates to Labor Day. Globe pops a pitch up. Short left field. Drifting back is the Yankee shortstop, Derek Jeter, but he's called off by Hideki Matsui. And Jeter's standing there with his hands on his hips and now smiling as Matsui makes the catch.
Well, to tell you the truth, that's what Matsui's supposed to do. I mean, he's got a better look at the ball. It's easier for him to come in to catch the ball. And when Derek heard Matsui calling for that ball, he got out of the way of it.
The reaction's priceless between those two.
I understand Boxing Day is the day after Christmas in Canada.
Here's Alex Gordon. The rookie third baseman takes a pitch for a call strike.
Yeah, we talked about some of the adjustments Mike Mussina is making this year, trying to get back on get back on track and get back to form. Phil Hughes yesterday, you know, a guy who had a pretty decent start to the ball game, but he didn't have something else to go to after they were hitting that fastball.
Pitches outside. Boxing Day is the day after Christmas. I thought that was regifting day.
That's what it's called. Boxing. You put it in a box.
You give it to somebody else.
Also, Boxing Day in England too. In case you guys wanted to know.
One ball and 1 strike. on Alex Gordon. Gordon steps out. Last year, this time, he was playing a double-A ball. Had 29 homers and stole 22 bases. There's a pitch for a ball, and it's 2 balls and a strike. Now, the Kansas City record for home runs by a left-handed hitter is held by Big John Mayberry. He hit 34 home runs in 1975 for the Royals, and got a feeling that Gordon might challenge that one day or one year. His pitch is swung on and missed, and it's 2-2.
Well, you know, he's got the tools. He's strong enough, and he's got a short, quick swing. And the more you play, the longer you get a better look at what you're supposed to do at the plate. You mature there, and you get a chance to take a look at better pitches, you know, and give yourself a better chance to get a hit.
Like most young hitters, he got in the bad habit of trying to pull early in the season, got himself off on a slow start. Now he's hitting the ball the other way. Had a double here left center Friday night's ball game. Drove the ball deep for left center. A good sign for him.
Full count now as Messina will deal the payoff pitch to Alex Gordon. Breaking ball hits the outside corner for call strike 3. They don't do that very often in Double-A. That's the first strikeout of the afternoon for Mike Messina.
Well, it's a good backdoor curveball. Nice location, nice catch by Jorge Posada. And he gets the call, and you know, in Double-A you don't see an assortment of pitches like that. Fastball, a couple of changeups mixed in there, a backdoor curveball in and out.
Different arm angles.
Yep, different arm angles. That's vintage Mike Mussina.
Here's John Buck, the catcher. First 2 Royals have been retired here in the 2nd inning. And he swings at the first pitch, lifts a fly ball, a lazy fly ball to right field for Bobby Abreu, who puts it away, and the Royals go quietly here in their half of the 2nd. Easy inning for Mike Messina as he sets down the Royals in order. Hideki Matsui will lead it off for the Yankees when we come back. Not the only hitter with a milestone yesterday, or reaching one, is Barry Bonds did hit the 755th home run of his career in San Diego, tied for most all time with the great Hank Aaron. And of course, A-Rod with his 500th, the youngest ever to get to that mark. Barry Bonds and Alex Rodriguez through 1,855 games, and you can see where they stand at that point. A-Rod has a 105 home run lead on him in that amount of games, and more runs batted in. Barry Bonds has drawn more walks, and I have a feeling before it's all over, let's see, he's got 500 home runs now. So the next 10 years, if he plays 10 years and averages 30 home runs a year, that's 800 homers. Here's Hideki Matsui. Takes a pitch in there for a strike from Gil Meche.
I hope I'm here to see it.
Yeah, that'd be wonderful. Of course, there might be another milestone tonight, as Tom Glavine will be pitching for the Mets against the Chicago Cubs. Matsui hits a ground ball to first as Ross Glode will come up, flip the mesh, and Matsui is retired. So Tom Glavine with a chance for victory number 300 in his illustrious career. as he'll be dealing for the Mets tonight at Wrigley Field. And two-time Cy Young Award winner for the Tommy gun, and a 10-time All-Star, and he was a world champ with the 1995 Atlanta Braves. A 5-time 20-game winner, and right now he stands at 299. 23rd on the all-time wins list. Jorge Posada steps in, and Posada, like the rest of the Yankees, he's been hot all season. 340, fourth in the American League, 14 homers, 65 runs batted in, and an impressive on-base percentage. The Yankees switch hitting catcher takes the first pitch inside for ball one.
We saw a couple of 300 games pitched here. Tom Seaver, but he was with the Chicago White Sox that won his 300th here at Yankee Stadium, and Roger Clemens got his 300,
beating the St. Louis Cardinals here in interleague play. We talked about the Yankee offense. The Yankees have scored at least 16 runs in a game 4 times this season, all during a span of 15 days from July 21st to August the 4th, and all of those games were right here at Yankee Stadium. As Posada takes a pitch for a call strike, and it's 2-1. Now that matches the most 16-run home games the Yankees have ever had in a single season, and the only other year they did that was in 1931 when they had Lou Gehrig and Babe Ruth. Posada swings, it's a fly ball to center field and deep. DeJesus going back at the warning track, reaches up and makes the catch, but he can go get him in center field. There's 2 down.
We've been impressed with DeJesus at the plate, but like you said, Kenny, he can pick him up and put him down. Made some great plays in Yankee Stadium through the years. Good young center fielder from Rutgers University. Played for Freddie Hill at Rutgers. Nice play going back on this ball, and Jorge Posada just day in and day out seems to hit the ball hard. It's robbed of an extra base hit right there.
DeJesus with the defensive play of the game thus far. Well, he and Gathright, maybe Gathright him a while apart. Gathright had to leave the Staters and make his play.
Well, you need some speed in the outfield. If you're going to play for Kansas City, they got a big outfield out there, especially a big center field. You can run down a lot of baseballs.
Cano takes a pitch up higher, and it's 1-1. Cano's got an 8-game hitting streak. They got some speed. Gathright, DeJesus, and Tien. All 3 of them can really run. 2-0 pitch, and that's just inside to Cano. It's 3-0. A 2-0 changeup. He's getting some respect.
And you notice that Cano, since he's been in his streak, he's been a little bit more selective too on his pitches and what he wants to swing at.
Taking all the way.
He's worked that count in his favor most of the time. Early on in the like Joe Torre was talking about, you know, like April, May, when he was struggling, he said he was swinging anything they wanted to throw up there, including the Rosenbach. He'd swing at it.
Well, right now he's 40 for his last 83, which is pretty darn good, and he'll take a base on balls here. That is the first walk doled out by Gil Meche, and Cano is aboard. And that'll bring up the third baseman today, Wilson Betemit. Betemit, his season with the Dodgers and the Yankees, got 11 home runs, 32 runs batted in. He is playing in his 4th game for the Yankees, and he's 4 for his first 6 with a home run and 6 runs batted in. And Meche deals a call strike to the switch hitting third baseman. Betemit can also play short. He can play second. Yesterday the Yankees started him in at first base. First time he's ever played there. He had one play where he looked a little unsure.
Yeah, man, I talked to some of the coaches on what they thought about first base, and really the only play you said, Kenny, was a ball Alex threw a little wide. Curveball down in the zone right there that Betemit maybe should have come off the bag, caught the ball, and then applied the tag, but really wasn't tested a whole lot over there. But when you get 3 hits and playing first base, a pretty good day, pretty good debut. So Don Mattingly has worked with Betemit. Awfully impressive so far in his young Yankee career. I mean, left-handed, it seems like he just does it so easy. The ball jumps off his bat. Had a base hit right-handed yesterday, a couple RBIs.
Off-speed pitch, and it drops in for a strike. So far in this game, you can see Gil Meche's plan just to mix his deliveries with the breaking ball and the change-ups, and you know, of course, you got to use your fastball. But if you're not getting more than 1 pitch over the plate against the Yankees, you're not going to be out there too long lately.
He throws a circle change, and that circle change kind of goes away from the left-handed bat. So that's a good pitch for him to get left-handers out, is to throw that circle change and get them to pull off on it.
He does everything you look for from a #1 starter. He works quick. He has a variety of pitches. He throws hard. He's got quality stuff. But I like his pace out there. He works quick.
Ball is hit hard by Betemit, and it's going to be a single as Gathright will get it back, and that'll move Cano to second. And the Yankees trying to get a 2-out rally going. A walk and now a single. Have 2 men on base for Andy Phillips.
Well, Wilson Betemit, he seems to be right at home here at Yankee Stadium. I don't know how to get him out. What is that, 5 for 7 now?
Yeah.
Since he's donned a Yankee uniform. And that's pretty good hitting there. He takes that inside out. He takes that inside pitch and just kind of inside outs it into left field. I think Brian Cashman, Joe Torre were saying that they've had their eye on Betemit not only this year but also last year too. They were thinking about making the trade with the Dodgers, and
I think they originally tried to get him from the Braves when he was with Atlanta, but they couldn't pry him away, at least not for the price that John Schuerholz, the general manager of Atlanta, wanted. And, the price this year was Scott Proctor going to the Dodgers in exchange for Wilson Betemit. #9 hitter is Andy Phillips. You know you got a good lineup when your #9 hitter's hitting .307. The pitch is outside for ball 1. 2 home runs, 19 runs batted in for Andy Phillips. And a chance for the Yankees here to jump in front here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. That pitch is outside, 2-0. This series, the Yankees are 11 for 28 with runners in scoring position. That works out to .393. Today's closed captioning is brought to you by your New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut Lexus dealers.
In situations like this with 2 outs, the Yankees have really been doing a nice job of 2-out hitting, and kind of breaks that pitcher's back when he knows he's only got to get 1 more to get out of the inning, and they've been piling up some base hits.
There's a call strike, and it's 2-1. With all this hitting, the Yankees have been scoring runs, at least 7 runs in each of their last 8 games at Yankee Stadium. That goes back to the last homestand. That creates headaches for the opposing managers. How are we going to slow down the juggernaut? There always seems to be men on base. Change up misses, and it's 3 balls and a strike on Andy Phillips. Melky Cabrera with a 10-game hitting streak is on deck. Runners lead from 1st and 2nd. Here's your 3-1 pitch. Phillips has a swing at it, fouls it off, and that'll run the count full. Speaking of full, another great crowd on hand here at Yankee Stadium.
Well, what they had, their 24th sellout yesterday, wasn't it? Or 25, or what was it? Oh, the 27th. I'm sorry. I knew it was in the 20s.
Yeah, it's getting up there. Today looks like they got a good bet at number 28. So the runners will be going. Cano from second, Betemit from first. The pitch is high for ball 4, and the bases are loaded. Second walk of the inning by Gil Meche, and now he will face Melky Cabrera, and there'll be Yankees on every base. Melky flied out to left field. He's 0 for 1. There's Cano at third. Betemit's at second, and Phillips at first.
Well, Kenny, we're rattling off those unbelievable numbers, and that's got to make the pitcher skittish. I mean, he knows that the Yankee offense is hot. They're trying to make perfect pitches, and even though it's a 3-2 count to load the bases, they don't want to just lay one in there.
He starts him with a breaking ball and misses for ball 1.
If you're Gil Meche, I mean, you had 2 outs pitching to Robinson Cano, and you know what? If you're going to be able to pitch carefully, it's like there's going to be a little conference on the mound here. Bob McClure going out to check on his pitcher, but You have a situation with 2 outs, you can pitch carefully to Robinson Cano, no big deal. And then all of a sudden, Betemit gets a base hit. Andy Phillips has a quality at bat, works a walk, and now you find yourself with the bases loaded and top of the order coming up with 2 outs. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees.
Well, the conference is done as Bob Okura hit back to the dugout. John Buck, the catcher, back behind home plate, but still trouble for Gil Meche. He's got a 1-0 count on Melky Cabrera. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Melky is 4 for 11 in this series. He's been hot, 16 for his last 43. Meche deals, and there's a call strike, 1-1. Cabrera this year with the bases loaded, 3 for 12 with a double. And he's also walked a couple of times. Next pitch lined into left field. It's in there for a base hit. Cano will score. They get a home Betemit at third. So the Yankees are up 1-0 on the bases loaded single by Melky Cabrera.
Well, just make it a number 11. That's the 11-game hitting streak now for Melky Cabrera. Nice piece of hitting where the pitch and the location is, and that's where the ball goes. Line drive left field, 2-out base hit with the bases loaded. And Melky gets the Yankees on top 1-0.
So Melky in a leadoff spot today. Drives in a run. It'll bring up Derek Jeter, who's already 1 for 1. He had a base hit his first time. We're talking about all of those Yankee offensive numbers of late, and they would make any opponent cringe. The last home games, the Yankees as a team have hit over 400. Jeter takes a fastball up high for ball 1. And they're averaging more than 12.5 runs per game.
This is what red hot lineups do to you. You get 2 quick outs. You think you're going to have an easy inning if you're Gil Meche, and the next thing you know, a run is in and the bases are still loaded. Reminds you of the Los Angeles Angels a few years ago. They just kept pounding away offensively. You have to earn every out that you get. Yankees red hot right now.
1-0 pitch, a good swing, but it's fouled back, and the count will leave it up at a ball and a strike.
It takes its toll physically on a pitcher, but it also takes its toll mentally. You know, where there are just no breaks, no holes. You're not going to get any freebies. At the end of a couple of innings, you're kind of fried mentally. You don't know where to go.
Manager's looking on, and Meche, the man with the ball. Good curve, and it drops in for a strike, and it's 1-2. Off-speed pitch as well. Gil Meche has some weapons out there on the mat, and this nice low curveball. That's high. Of course, Jeter's been one of the best hitters in the league with runners in scoring position this year. And with the bases loaded, he's 5 for 9 with a double. Gil Meche, a couple of deep breaths on the mound. Curveball is outside as Derek Jeter checks his swing. The appeal. Gary Darling said that the Yankee captain did not go around, so now it's a 3-2 pitch.
Well, Derek had a base hit on the curveball his first at bat, and Meche is making sure that he gets this one down in the dirt. Nice block by Buck behind the plate. Being careful with that curveball this time around, making sure he doesn't throw one over the plate.
So runners will be off and running on this 3-2 pitch. Meche taking his time and trying to get together on the sides with catcher John Buck. Everybody's ready. Payoff pitch on the way, and Jeter fouls it off. We'll do it all over again. Betemit will go back to third, Phillips to second, and Cabrera back to first base. Like fastball up and in. And with the next pitch, the merry-go-round will spin once again. Here it comes, and it's high for ball 4, and that's the second run of the inning. Derek Jeter accepts a 2-out, bases loaded walk, and the Yankees have rallied with 2 outs, has scored 2 runs, and have taken a quick 2-0 lead on these Kansas City Royals. So now it's Bobby Abreu's turn.
I think Meche right now has tried to overthrow, he's not commanding the strike zone with his fastball, and that's where he sets all of his pitches up, is with his fastball. And it appears to me that he's trying to overthrow it.
Well, that's his 3rd walk of the inning, Bobby, and the Yankees have had 2 hits. Betemit had 1, and of course Cabrera with the bases loaded, but now another hot hitter to the plate in Bobby Abreu. And he's up here with the bases loaded, 2 outs. Change-up is in there for a call strike. Meche lost to the Yankees on July 25th in Kansas City. Although he worked deep into that ball game, he went 7 1/3 innings. So far, he has thrown 46 in this one. Gave up 9 hits and 5 runs, and he lost to Mike Messina. The Yankees won that game 7-1. Line drive towards center field. Coming on is DeJesus. He's going to have to play it on a hop. 2 runs will score as Philip Cabrera score, and Jeter goes to third, and it's 4-0 Yankees. This is what you call a 2-out rally.
Yeah, all with 2 outs, and you keep saying it, Kenny, the red hot hitter, the red hot hitter. All these Yankee guys are locked in right now. Bobby Abreu gets a fastball out over the plate and just drives it right back up the middle. The only concern for him was DeJesus going to be able to come in and make a shoestring catch? He does not, but he does a nice job of keeping it in front. But nice base running by Derek Jeter. Able to recognize him booting that ball a little bit, gets over to third base.
Bobby Abreu has now driven in 19 runs in his last 13 games. The hit scores 2, sends Jeter to third. It brings up Alex Rodriguez as the Yankees have batted around here in the 2nd inning. A-Rod was a strikeout victim his first time up. Hitting an even 300 on the season. Pitches high and inside for ball 1.
Bobby, I think you said it perfectly. It looks like Meche is overthrowing a little bit. I think it's a combination of frustration. You get 2 quick outs. I think it's going to be an easy inning. The next thing you know, you got 4 runs on the board, and kind of lost his focus mentally. It looks like he's rushing a little bit, overthrowing.
That's inside, and it's 2 balls and no strikes.
Well, you got a paving machine coming towards you. With this, I'm talking about the Yankee offense. It just takes you out of your own element a little bit, and I think he now is beginning to try to throw the perfect pitch and try to overthrow the perfect pitch, and he's just not getting it done. He's getting behind the count, and all of a sudden he's got to come in with the fastball. And the Yankees are just not missing those fastballs now, or not missing the bad pitches.
Leo Nunez is warming up in the Royals bullpen in left center field. There's a toss to first to check on Abreu.
It's a nice mix for the Yankee lineup, with the 2 outs, 3 walks, and 3 hits. Just making the pitcher earn everything that he gets. Don't throw it over the plate. They're disciplined enough right now not to swing at it. And if you do throw it over the plate, they're making you pay. Not with the long ball this inning. Just nice base hits up the middle the other way.
2-0 pitch is hit in the air to short right field. It's going to be a long run for Tien, but the right fielder has speed, gets there, makes the catch, and that will be the 3rd out. Meche got the first 2, but then the Yankees scored 4 runs. Melky Cabrera with a big hit to drive in a run, and then Bobby Abreu with a 2-out, 2-run single. The Yankees lead 4-0 at the end of 2.
third. The Yankees put a 4 spot on them in the bottom of the 2nd inning. That 2nd inning has been a pretty good inning for the Yankees this homestand. And Mike Messina delivers a fastball in there for a call strike to Joey Gathright, a speedy left fielder. Gathright yesterday 2 for 3. A little chopper pass, Betemit. Jeter with the long throw. It won't be in time. Gathright with that outstanding speed beats out an infield hit for the 2nd hit for the Royals. Nobody out here in the 3rd.
Yeah, Gathright came in hitting .321, and it appears this time, Bobby, we've seen him bounce back and forth between the big leagues and the minors, both with Tampa Bay and with Kansas City, but he was hitting .340 at AAA, and now hitting over .300 at big leagues. It looks like he wants to stay and be an everyday player if Reggie Sanders does indeed retire.
That'll bring up Tony Pena, who had a miserable day yesterday. He struck out 4 times. He was 0 for 5. Every day's a new day in baseball. You can always turn it around.
I can see he's using a different bat than he used yesterday.
Now I noticed that I saw today before the game you were talking to Tony Pena Sr. Were you asking him about that?
Well, he had a discussion with his son. They were out here early, standing behind the batting cage, and they were talking. And Tony said he asked his son, after striking out 3 times yesterday, did you think about bunting the last time? And his son said no, and he went up there and struck out again. But he told him that one thing he should do, even when he's not hitting. Defense is something else, especially when you're playing position as important as shortstop. And he said when you're playing the Yankees and the way they're swinging the bat now, they're going to have long innings like they just had in the 2nd. And so he said you got to keep your concentration levels up when you're in the field, because somebody's might hit you a rocket and you're going to have to be forced to make a play with men on base. So he said even when you're not hitting and the opposition is having these long innings, keep your concentration levels up. And that was good advice from his dad.
0-2 count to Pena and Messina. Trying to keep Gathright as close as he can with that great speed at first base.
I thought that was pretty good advice.
I think that's terrific advice.
Well, it's excellent advice. More importantly, the shortstop, the premium is on the defense out on the field. Also a catcher behind the plate. If you can bring that every day, you're going to be valuable to your ball club.
The only other thing I would have told him, I would have told him you should have bunted.
Yeah.
Because the Yankees were giving a bunt base hit. I mean, they were way out in front. The Royals needed base runners. It didn't make any difference whether you hit a home run or not. So when a ball club is giving you a hit and you are an excellent bunter, I think you should take the opportunity. 1-2 count out of Pena. Nobody out here in the 3rd. Yankees in front 4-0 already in this game.
One reason why I think he's going to be a very good ball player, we've seen his actions in the field. We talked about that before, but he's also hitting .344 at home. Now I'm not saying he's going to continue to hit .344 at home, but I think he'll hit better on the road to kind of even that out.
Could be out of play off to the right side and into the stands for a souvenir. Yeah, I agree with you, but these are all the things that if you're 0 for 3 for crying out loud, and somebody's giving you I used to pride myself, even though I was, I think, considered as a power hitter. I used to pride myself for being able to bunt, and I learned how to bunt from Matty Alou. As a matter of fact, when Matty Alou was with our ball club here with the Yankees, he taught me a very valuable lesson about bunting, and it was an easy way to bunt, and I always prided myself for being able to do that.
He was one of the best.
He was one of the best.
In fact, didn't he have a bunt against the Yankees in the '62 World Series as a pinch hitter leading off the last inning, got on base?
I don't know. I wasn't born then.
Well, Willie Mays hit a double, and that's when McCovey lined out to Bobby Richardson to end the World Series. It was Matty Alou who started that off with a bunt single. And I also believe that year he started the winning rally in the playoffs against the Dodgers with a pinch hit bunt single.
He was one of the best, and I didn't know it until he actually came to the Yankees and showed me a couple of things. That'll be foul back down a play up in the upper deck. But those are the little things, that I think that if you're worried about an average or something like this, is you were talking about his home games, Tony Pena, 344. That's what you were talking about on the road. 215.
I think those will level off, though. He'll improve on the road, and he might drop down some at home.
What bunting does is it also puts in the infielders' minds that you may do that any time. Off the fist and a little looper out toward Jeter, and that'll be one out here to third. You see what I'm saying? I mean, the next time you come up, they're playing about a half a step too short, and you bounce that ball by him.
We saw Melky do that the other day. Fake a bunt and bounded one over Gordon's head for a double.
David DeJesus now will step in. He's got a 13-game hitting streak on the line. Jesus 0 for 1, flying out to right field. Second time through the lineup.
Taking a look at Gathright over there, I'm really surprised that he has not tried to run. I mean, the American League has been running wild on Mike Mussina, 18 out of 19.
And the breaking ball down low for a ball. Mussina, opponents have hit .349 at their batting average after his second pass through the order. This is the second pass through now. .269 through the first pass. So what do you make of that, Flash?
I think they probably have a better idea of how he's going to try and pitch them on that particular day. We've talked in the past how Mike Mussina can go in the bullpen and kind of figure out if he's going to be a power pitcher one day, an off-speed pitcher the next. And I think a lot of lineups pay attention that first time through, and then they do their homework, and the next time through the lineup they're better prepared.
Good count coming to DeJesus. And that's in there for a call strike. You were talking about Rutgers University. I thought it was kind of a cute little note that Kansas City put into their press release today. It said Scarlet Knights streaking in royal blue, while something about a 500th home run was being made here yesterday. The all-time leader in runs scored at Rutgers University extended his hitting streak to 13 games. They were talking about David DeJesus.
That is Mike Swanson, who is one of the best at laying out those press notes in Major League Baseball.
There goes Gathright. Jeter was covering, and he was able to recover to catch that hard ground ball off the bat of DeJesus to throw him out for the second out. So if Gathright had not been running, it would have been a little bit easier to play, maybe even a base hit. I don't know for Jeter, depending on where he was playing.
Well, a 360 move, and both those runners involved have good speed. Gathright going to second, so Jeter knows he's going to have to hurry. No play there as he looked toward second. Now spins to throw to first, and a few steps ahead of David DeJesus for the second out of the inning. DeJesus hit that ball hard.
He did. Well, with the man in scoring position, Armand will now step in. He is 0 for 1. Tried to bunt his way on versus Mussina his last time up. Talking about somebody else that's doing a better job at home than on the road. Armand is a .347 hitter at Kauffman Stadium. Did you ever play in the old ballpark when it was the Kansas City A's singing?
No. What year did they leave Kansas City to go to Oakland?
I think it was in the late 60s, early 70s.
I didn't get a chance to play there. If it was in the early 70s, I was in the National League.
Where they had the sheep out in right field, grazing on the grass.
I heard about it.
They had the donkey, you know. Charlie Finley, he had all the circus acts out there. He just come to the plate thinking, what if I can launch one into the shepherd's pen, you know, in right field.
You know, it's between him and Bill Veeck, the owner of the White Sox. Who was the better showman?
Yeah.
Bill Veeck used to have parades on the field every day.
Oh, yeah.
And the elephants and all kinds of animals, and a guy with a shovel.
And a record day, too. Hit hard in the right field. That's going to be in there for a base hit. Bobby Abreu up with it. The throw, but Holberg stopped Gathright with great speed at third base. And it looked like it was the right move on Polberg's decision to keep him there.
Well, first of all, there are 2 outs, and you know Gathride's got the great speed, but the ball was directly at Bobby Abreu and hit pretty hard by Herman. So Abreu launches a good throw to the plate, and I think Polberg made the right call, especially when you're down 4 runs. That throw had plenty on it from Bobby Abreu.
Brian Polberg, the third base coach for Buddy Bell. You know, the third base coaches, they give a lot of signs over there, and your applause is really their only reward, because they're not allowed to make a mistake. They get somebody thrown out at home plate. Martin now will step in with 2 men out, 2 men on. High fly ball, left center field. Abreu calling off Matsui. He makes the out. And the Kansas City Royals threaten here in the 3rd. They leave a couple of men on. But here at the stadium, the Yankees lead it 4-0. Verizon Fios. Make the switch to Verizon Fios, TV, internet, and also the phone. Andy Pettitte will look for his 8th victory versus Jesse Litch for the Toronto Blue Jays. Coverage begins at 12:30 right here on the Yes Network. We hope that you will join us up in Toronto as the Yankees will start a road trip. And something the Yankees need to improve on a little bit this year is how they play on the road. They are not playing very well, or haven't played well up until this time. They are 24-29 on the road, and starting today's game 36-21 here at Yankee Stadium. And the old cliche in baseball is to what? Play 500 on the road and take care of it at home, right? Play 20 games over 500 at home. Matsui, who led it off for the Yankees back in the 2nd inning when they scored 4 runs, will lead it off here again in the 3rd as the Yankees batted around in that 2nd.
Flash, you know Jesse Litch, don't you, the pitcher tomorrow for the Blue Jays?
Yeah, his numbers are good, the good ERA, but he was a bat boy with the Tampa Bay Devil Rays when I was there my last year.
How about that?
Now he's getting it done in the big leagues, Bobby.
Well, he learned something, you know, from you guys.
I don't know about that. I remember he was out on the field every day long tossing, and next thing you know, he gets an opportunity. There he is doing a nice job.
That's a great story. High and deep to right field. Tien will be on the track on the wall. He'll look up, and it is gone. A home run. Hideki Matsui, his 22nd of the year, and the 100th home run as a Yankee.
Second inning, the Yankees did it with a couple of walks and a couple of base hits. Here, Hideki Matsui gets a fastball down in the zone. And he doesn't drive it deep, but he drives it deep enough out here for his 100th home run as a New York Yankee. See TM back to the wall, think he has a play, couldn't make it.
And Hideki becomes the first Japanese player to hit 100 home runs in the major leagues.
Jorge Posada will now step in, take a ball outside. 100 career home runs with the Yankees, and the first Japanese-born player to reach that milestone.
Wow.
Congratulations, Hideki.
Now, while he was in Japan, he hit 332 home runs for the Giants over there.
We're seeing it all here at Yankee Stadium with the Yankees. Here the last few days, 500 home runs for Alex Rodriguez yesterday, youngest player ever to reach 500 at 32 years of age. Jorge Posada hitting .339, 14 home runs, 65 runs batted in. Was he the lucky fan who got the 100th home run from Hideki Matsui? Was that who he was?
Yep. They're going to try and get the ball from him. And
doesn't look like he's paying too much attention. I think his girlfriend's on the phone there saying, I'm about to get you 500.
Did Alex get his ball yesterday, the 500?
I don't know.
I don't think he did.
I do know that they sequestered the guy that got the baseball, and I think the fans out there were all thinking that it was their ball too, so the security got out there in a hurry and rushed him to a secure place.
I think he got to meet several of the Yankees, but from what I understand, they couldn't reach a deal. So,
is that right?
So he's got the ball.
Take a look at the lucky guy that gets Matsui's 100th home run. Line drive caught by Herman at second base. Cano doesn't hit anything that's soft anymore, and that was a line drive that was hit right at him.
Just couldn't get it beyond Esteban Herman at second base. You're right. He doesn't make any soft outs of late.
And neither has this guy here, Wilson Betemit, since he has joined the Yankees. He is 5 for his last 7, 5 for his only 7 here in the Yankee uniform. And he pops that one foul off to the left side. I don't know, Kenny.
It's a nice batting average.
I don't know, when he stands at home plate, the stance that he has, does that remind you a little bit of Eddie Murray?
Yeah, let's see here. Eddie probably had his bat just a little more straight up and down.
Yeah.
But the way he actually holds his body.
The open stance and wide spread.
If the Yankees can get him to hit like Eddie Murray.
Well, he is a switch hitter.
Yeah.
Off-speed pitch by Meche in there for a call strike. 1-2 now. Betemit. Nobody will check that one man out here in the third. Matsui led it off with his 100th home run. Had another run, and the Yankees now lead at 5-0. And out into center field. The Jesus tracking it. He makes the catch, and Posada will return back to first base. 2 gone for the Yankees. Well, Samsung's 4 Seasons of Hope and Joe Torre have teamed up to make a difference in the community. For every Yankees home run hit at home this year, Samsung will donate $1,000 to Joe Torre's Safe at Home Foundation to help end the cycle of domestic violence. You can join the team and support Samsung's Home Run for Kids by visiting fourseasonsofhope.com or joetorre.org, because a little hope can make a big difference. And boy, they're adding a lot to that pot with all these home runs the Yankees are hitting. Phillips lines one into center field, and right there is to Jesus, who had him played perfectly. So we'll look at another historic home run. It's Hideki Matsui. It's his 100th of the year, and the Yankees lead it 5-0. It's the Aflac trivia question. Alex Rodriguez is one of 3 players to hit 100 home runs with 3 different teams. Who are the other 2? And we'll have that answer for you shortly. So stay with us.
Well, you got to think of some people hit a lot of home runs. And I think I know one.
Yeah, but with 3 different teams.
Yeah, 100 home runs.
A lot of times you're hitting that many home runs. You don't find that many teams to play with. First pitch swinging, Amil Brown, and Betemit up with it to throw him out for the first out here. So 1 pitch out for Mike Messina here in the 4th inning.
Well, if you're a pitcher like Mike Messina, that's what you like to see. The outs early in counts. Keep your pitch count down, stay strong into the afternoon. Although today is very comfortable, not the beat down humidity we've had in the past few days, and only 38 pitches thus far.
Well, Messina has thrown only 100 pitches in 2 of his last 18 starts. So you know, when he reaches getting close to that 100 pitch count, that's pretty much it for him. So he's very economical right now as Ross Glode takes one inside and high for a ball. He flied out to left field. So Glode 0 for 1, and the Royals down 5-0 here with 1 out in the 4th inning. Inside corner for a call strike. Well, you got the Rocket, who turned 45 years of age yesterday, along with the Gator, Ron Guidry, the pitching coach. A lot of smiles on the Yankee bench today, and rightfully so. They're having a lot of fun. We see a lot of excitement in the dugout, and the young kids, Canoes and the Melky Cabreras, and also Shelly Duncans, they're adding a lot of life to that dugout, and they keep everybody loose.
Well, the Yankees certainly have more bench strength now.
Foul back without a play. 2 balls, 2 strikes down to Glode.
Yeah, Bobby, you mentioned that 100 pitch count for Mike Messina. There's the Gator and Roger Clemens. A lot of wins there between those 2 guys. 521. But you talk about the 100 pitch count. It makes you think about Mike Messina's starts. You know, he's probably going to be a guy who goes 6 innings now if we get up to that pitch count. So you need somebody for the 7th. And Jabba Chamberlain threw a couple of good innings last night again.
Little looper down the left field line. If it stays fair, it's going to be trouble. It's going to fall in for a base hit. Actually, it's going to be a double. So a 1-out double for Ross Glode. Looked like a pretty good pitch from Messina, but Glode fought it off for a double.
You know, Glode has gotten all kinds of hits against the Yankees. For the season, he's now, what is he, 12 for 21 against Yankee pitching. He got a lot of hits in Kansas City, and he's gotten a lot of hits here in New York as well. And this is a little blue double, but when you're hot, you're hot. And that's one of those Wee Willie Keeler hits. Hit them where they ain't.
5 for 9 lifetime versus Messina. And that'll bring up the rookie 3rd baseman Alex Gordon, who struck out his first time up. From a hitter that's a free swinger, and I don't consider Alex Gordon to be a big free swinger, but Mike Messina, with all the perfect pitches that he can throw to you, he can really work you over in a hurry. That'll be foul back without a play. Change ups and the knuckle curveballs, and he makes you think up there. I mean, he makes you think a lot about the strike zone, and he teases you more than anything else.
What he's done with Alex Gordon is the first at bat, everything was away, and there he sneaks a fastball in on his hands, like you said, Bobby, just to make him think about something different. But probably the best stuff I've seen from Mike Messina in a long time. The fastball looks like it has a little more zip on it. The knuckle curveball has a good bite, and he's shown a decent changeup today.
Another pitch fouled off down the left field line. So it's a no ball, 2 strike count down to Alex Gordon.
Flash, we've talked about this in the past when the pitcher's got a comfortable lead. I mean, 5-0. This game is not halfway through, just a third of the way through. But Mike Messina, he's got a lead to work with. What does that mean on a catching sense? You know, when you're behind the plate calling pitches and you got this type of lead, are you trying to keep him on pace with the game plan and just go?
Oh yeah, you don't want to get lulled to sleep where you just kind of get away from what you wanted to do and put a lot of fastballs down.
Ooh. Well, home plate umpire Adam Dowdy flinched.
Well, it bent his knees. I know that.
Well, he thought about coming
yeah,
up.
I know.
Watch the reaction of the home plate umpire on this one. On this pitch that got back and came back. Yep, he thought about it.
We talked about you just don't want to throw fastballs down. There is a good fastball located on the inside corner. You just don't want to get in the habit of, here, hit it as far as you can. You know, I'm going to throw it down the middle and let you kind of tee off. You still have your game plan. You want to keep that intact and almost trick yourself into thinking it's a 1 or 2-0 ball game. I know Mike Messina, not a guy who likes to pitch inside with his fastball. He took a shot right there for the strikeout. It looks like he made a pretty good pitch.
Well hit into center field. Cabrera on the run, and he will get there to make the catch. The runner goes halfway, and so the Yankees now have 2 outs here in the 4th inning. Cabrera gets about as good a jump as I've seen anybody in center field.
Yeah, by that last pitch not being called the strike, this one is out over the plate where Gordon was probably looking to begin with, because he took that fastball inside, almost got struck out. Well, he hits this one well. And of course, left center field is a long way to go for left-handed hitters here at Yankee Stadium. And Melky Cabrera runs it down, as Bobby said, got a good jump and got it back in. There are 2 down.
So the catcher, John Buck, now will step in. The Royals still trying to get on the board here at the stadium, and it's Yankees 5 and Kansas City nothing. Well, you look at Buck right now, and he's not the kind of guy you would really want to run into at home plate if you had to have a collision there.
I don't think in any sport you want to run into him anywhere.
He is solid and he is strong.
Oh, wow. Not hitting well with runners in scoring position. This might be the guy you want up in this situation, but he looks like he could go bear hunting barehanded.
Probably happy he had yesterday off. The 21 hits and the 16 runs for the Yankees takes your toll on a catcher. Jason LaRue was in there yesterday, but you know, Buck with the 16 home runs, you make a mistake with a breaking ball, he can do some damage.
Bought that one off to the right side and out of play. So Messina now once again in front of a hitter. No balls and 2 strikes.
And this is just a pitcher and catcher who have done their homework. You know, Buck, a kind of a long swing. He slider speed bat guy, they would call him. And with 2 outs and runners in scoring position, the numbers are even worse. But the last thing you want to do here with an 0-2 count is make a mistake with a curveball in the strike zone. That plays right to his strength.
Stays alive on that pitch there. As we hear some Moose calls here at the stadium just then. I think it was the Moose call. And so it looks to be like another sellout crowd here at Yankee Stadium. They have not announced the attendance yet, but like every seat is full. No balls, 2 strikes to John Buck. Man down at second for the Royals. Curveball got away from Messina a little bit. You saw where Posada was setting out. That's where he was expecting the curveball, and he had to come way back inside to catch it.
Yeah, when you go over the report, you don't want to throw a breaking ball for a strike. Mike Messina drops down a little bit, and you called it right, Bobby. You kind of got underneath and it just spun a little bit. Got away with the mistake right there. If it does go with a curveball, it's probably going to be a drop down where he's going to throw it off the plate on the outside corner and see if Buck could swing at it or swing at something off the plate.
Outside and low for ball 2. So now Posada will go out and have a little conversation with Messina. Yeah, Messina, if he gets you down the count, 1 ball, no balls and 2 strikes, he just expands that strike zone. From that point on, he really doesn't give you a good pitch to hit until he gets to 3 and 2. Blow down at second. Caught him looking. Inside, strike 3. He'd thrown so many pitches outside, I think he had Buck looking out there, and he snuck one in on the inside, and the Yankees. And Mike Messina out of this inning, 5-0 New York. And the question was, Alex Rodriguez is one of 3 players to hit 100 plus home runs for 3 different teams. Who are the other 2? And we're going to give you that answer right after this pitch, and here it comes now. That's a strike to Melky Cabrera leading off.
I believe we've got somebody that everybody knows. It's Reggie Jackson and then Darrell Evans.
Darrell Evans with the Braves, left-handed hitter, third baseman.
Oh,
Melky fouls that one off of his right leg. Shinburger.
It's never fun.
Oh yeah, right off the shin.
Man,
you've been there.
Oh my goodness.
Clarity's been there. I've been there. And it doesn't feel any better up here either.
No,
that's all I can tell you.
It brings back some bad memories.
We know what you're feeling. Steve Donahue, the athletic trainer for the Yankees, out there to usually bring some of that freeze on, whatever that stuff is. And one thing I've noticed about trainers, if you get hit with something, the first thing they do is start squeezing right at the spot. Does that hurt? Well, of course it hurt. It's killing me.
They should bring a shin guard out with him. And if you're Gil Mash, what are you going to do? Next pitch is going to be low and in.
Of course, you go right back to the spot. If you're Kevin Long, you probably like this, though. Melky would be nice and quiet on his front foot. Some good hitting mechanics. You don't want to put too much pressure on that ankle, that shin.
Well, Melky has walked it off. He's going to be all right. And he's going to stay in the game. And Melky, in his last at bat, drove in a run as he extended his hitting streak to 11 games. So Melky now batting .292. And the off-speed pitch swung on and missed. So Melky is gone, and your focus is not really on the next pitch, when it's coming up like that, unfortunately, when you've had a terrible pain that is going on at the same time. So Melky strikes out for the first out.
It's about the only way you've been able to slow Melky down lately. I'm sure they'll apply some ice there, but you're going to have a nice little knot on your shin.
Derek Jeter with a bases loaded walk, and he in the second inning picked up an RBI, and he also singled back in the first inning. So Derek 1 for 1 officially. 52 RBIs now for Jeter. Yankees lead at 5-0 here, 1 out in the fourth inning. Yankees scored 4 runs at the bottom of the second inning after Meche got the first 2 guys out in that second inning, and then the Yankees went to work on their offense. Two balls and a strike now to Jeter.
With the Yankees playing so well of late, and the Tigers losing in the Central Division, the Tigers are actually in second place now behind the front-running Cleveland Indians. So the Yankees are chasing the Tigers in the wild card, and the Tigers are losing. 2-0. Top of the 6th, they're losing to the Chicago White Sox. So if the Yankees win today and the Tigers go on to lose, the Yankees would be a half a game behind in the wild card.
Say that's doable.
No. Now the home plate umpire Adam Dowdy has already sent Derek Jeter to first base. He said he was hit by the pitch.
I didn't know if it had hit, but you can just take a look at the player. You can tell whether it ever hit the bat or whether it caught him flush on the hand.
That is the 10th time this season that Derek's been hit by a pitch, and the second time in the last few minutes here that Stevie Donahue's been on the field to check out a Yankee player.
Ouch.
A lot of small bones in their hand and wrist area.
Tony Pena along with Steve Donahue, and the captain's going to stay in this game. And one more look at it. Ooh, that looked like it was off the wrist more than the hand. Of course, we've talked about it before. You know, Derek, he jumps into the ball and he brings his hands forward, so that makes him more susceptible to those balls inside and being hit somewhere in that area. So right now he's all right as Bobby Abreu steps in. Down low for a ball to Abreu. Abreu doubled, knocked in a couple of runs back in the second, so he now has 70 runs batted in. One and one.
That's the last thing you want if you're the Yankees, as well as you've been playing, is have some injuries. Melky Cabrera fouls that ball off his shin. Derek Jeter looks not too happy about that pitch up and in. Really, you start thinking about this Yankee ball club going on this road trip. The only spot they really need to shore up is in the bullpen. Chamberlain had 5 strikeouts in 2 innings last night at AAA. That'd be an addition you might see sooner than later.
What did that last guy do, Grim? Broken back ground out?
Threw his body in front of it.
And then I was talking to Brian Cashman today, the Yankee GM, about him, and he's been impressive. There's no doubt about it.
Obviously, everybody's impressed with his stuff down there. I mean, a hard thrower, a hard slider, but they say they wouldn't do this with anybody, you know, change him from a starter to a reliever, but they said he has the mental makeup to handle it. Ron Guidry probably looking forward to his arrival. We don't know when it's going to be, but, you know, the numbers every time you hear him pitch down there, what more does he need to do?
Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty soon.
I was in Cooperstown. Reggie Jackson, of course, was there for the Hall of Fame ceremonies, as 53 of the 61 living Hall of Famers were up there. And Reggie was talking about young Mr. Chamberlain and how much he had been impressed with him, not only by his pitching on the field. But Mr. October said that he's quite a young man. Just to, in conversation, he got the idea that you know, he's ready mentally to be a big league pitcher.
There goes Jeter, a 3-2 count, lined over. Herman's headed to right field for a base hit. Jeter will go to third, and with one out, the Yankees have runners at first and third, with Alex Rodriguez coming to the plate.
Bobby Abreu continues his hot hitting. That's his second hit today. He's 2 for 3.
And how many times, Singy and Flash, have we seen Bobby Abreu start to first base, think it's ball 4, and then the next pitch he either hits it out of the ballpark or lines a double or single someplace.
And now he's 11 for his last 19. It's a nice little streak going.
Alex Rodriguez has got a chance to add to the Yankees score, and they'll try to keep Abreu close at first base. A-Rod versus Gil Meche in his career. He's 10 for 26 with 4 home runs. Outside for ball 1. Everybody focusing on A-Rod's 500th home run yesterday, but he also scored 3 runs, raising his total this year to 101 to go along with his 36 homers and 108 RBIs. He fouled off to the right side. A-Rod became the first Yankee to accumulate at least 100 runs, 35 homers, and 100 RBIs through the team's first 110 games since 1961, when Mickey Mantle also reached those levels in the team's 110th game. Well, from this point on, every time A-Rod gets an RBI, there's the Mick alongside looked like Bobby Richardson. Every time he hits a home run, every time he gets an RBI, the names that he's going to be either tying or passing are going to be all Hall of Fame names.
Yeah, I was watching that summer on TV, and I'll tell you what, Madeline Maris and the whole Yankee club, they had some kind of season.
Mickey hit 54, and Roger hit 61 that year. That's when he broke Babe Ruth's single season record right here at the stadium. And
a lot of people thought Mickey would have made it, but he was injured towards about the last 10 days of the season.
Tough year for Maris that year, from conversations that I've had along the lines, and a tough year meaning that the Yankee fans were just so in love with Mickey, obviously, and they wanted him to be the one. If somebody was going to break Babe Ruth's record, they wanted Mickey to be the guy to do that. So they pulled mostly for Mickey. High and fairly deep left center field. De Jesus, though, is going to get there. But it's going to be a productive out as Jeter will tag up at third and come on to score. And the Yankees now will take a 6-0 lead. 109 RBIs now for Alex Rodriguez.
Bobby, you mentioned the good numbers for Alex Rodriguez off of Gil Meche, and I'm sure the reason for that is a lot of these curveballs and sliders that he throws out over the plate. Alex had a good swing at that one right there. Didn't center it perfectly, but well enough for a sacrifice fly. Sometimes a pitcher just kind of feeds right into your strengths. You see the breaking ball out over the plate. A pitch that Alex Rodriguez has done a lot of damage on in his career. They didn't get it good, but he got it well enough. It's another sacrifice fly RBI.
Matsui now will step in with 2 outs and lofts a high fly ball into right field. Should be an easy play for Tien as he puts it away. But the Yankees put another run on the board here in the 4th inning. We have played 4 innings here. It's 5-0, 6-0.
Tigers are down to the White Sox 3-0 now. Joey Gathright will lead it off as we take a look at the wild card standings. Yankees a game and a half behind the Tigers and a game behind the Mariners in the wild card standings. Joey Gathright will lead it off, and the first pitch he tries to lay down a bunt and fouls it off for strike one. Mike Messina so far has allowed no runs on 4 hits. He's faced 16 batters. This will be the 17th in Gathright, and 14 of those batters have seen a first pitch strike.
Well, you like to see that. I think Mike Barnett probably had something to do with that. Barnett is the hitting instructor, saying, use your asset. You got great speed, and look what he's done now. He's pulled the corners in. Betemit way in on the grass at third, and also Andy Phillips at first.
Next pitch is fouled off, and the count will go to 0-2. And now both Betemit and Phillips can drop back because Gathright has 2 strikes. It is certainly less likely he'll be trying to lay down a bunt. He's a number 8 hitter. He'll be followed by Tony Pena Jr. And then the top of the order, David DeJesus for the Royals here in the 5th.
But Bobby, you'd almost like it for it to come from Buddy Bell, the manager, saying, you know what, you have to show me a bunt attempt 1 time a game and kind of take it out of Gathright's hands and make him do it.
Little roller towards second. Going to be a tough play for Cano, and he can't make the play. He bobbles it, and Gathright's going to beat it out. We'll see how they score it.
I mean, that's all he's got to do. I mean, remember the guy Ralph Garr? I mean, Garr had great speed, and all he did was slap the ball on the ground, and he just relied on his speed for base hits.
I think Garr won a batting title with the Braves.
Yeah, he was about 2 steps. He was a left-handed hitter. He was about 2 steps out of the box as he was slapping the ball over to the left side.
They're going to call that an error on Robinson Cano. Mike Messina, 11 pitches in the first, the 3rd inning, and the 4th innings where he had to work the hardest. And here in the 5th, 3 so far. Here's Tony Pena Jr., who popped out to Derek Jeter his first time. 6-0 Yankees lead. We're in the 5th inning, and first pitch to Pena Jr. is fouled off to the right. Messina has done pretty well against these Royals in his career. He's trying to beat them for the 17th time today against only 7 losses. And of course that career spans both with the Orioles and the Yankees. It's low and away, and it's a ball and a strike. And pretty good career against Central Division teams. Pitched well against the Tigers. The Twins have kind of roughed them up lately, but I think we were joking one day when we said that Mike Messina was the real owner of the Minnesota Twins. Off-speed pitch on the ground to third to Betemit. He has. He goes to Cano for 1 on the first, and it's an around the horn double play.
Pretty impressive right there.
They were dealing with 2 speedy runners in Gathright and Pena Jr., and they got both of them.
Well, Betemit has impressed us with his bat, but here the kind of slick fielding, the nice throw to Robinson Cano. And when you have an arm like Robinson's, you don't really have to have your footwork down. You can kind of just get it out of your glove and get rid of it. But here, the real good feed to Robinson. You can see the feet are kind of tangled, but he has that arm strength. He can just get rid of it. A little flip of the wrist. He's got plenty on it over to Andy Phillips to complete the double play.
The instructor and Papa Boa is going to be very proud of that play, the way Cano turned the double play.
So now there are 2 outs, nobody on, and back to the top of the order for Kansas City. And it's going to be David DeJesus, who is 0 for 2. Might be looking to bunt there. Takes a pitch high for a ball. Remember, DeJesus has a 13-game hitting streak on the line. The Royals, after today's game, will be heading home. They got an off day tomorrow. And then they begin a series at home against the Minnesota Twins. There's a pitch in there for a strike, and it's 1-1. So they go back to playing teams in their own division. One pitch is a little low, ball 1. Now we just Robinson Cano was charged with an error, and you can see that Larry Bowa was not happy about that call. And to me, when you got a runner like Gathright going, There's a pitch in there for a strike, and it's 2-2. Oh boy, he's protected his player.
Official score here at Yankee Stadium this afternoon is Howie Carpenter.
I couldn't see who it was. A few moose calls going up now. Fans want the strikeout. Messina struck out 2 without a walk this afternoon.
I mean, sometimes people see plays a lot differently, obviously.
On the ground at third, Betemit on the backhand. The long throw is in time, and the Royals are gone here in the 5th inning. There was one error, as questionable as that was, but at the end of 4 1/2, the Yankees have a 6-0 lead on the Royals. Legendary vehicles. IO Digital Cable, the leader in HD, and HD is free with IO. And by Infinity, who uses the power of design to create dynamic, beautiful automobiles. And it's a beautiful day for baseball here at Yankee Stadium. Bottom of the 5th inning, Yankees have a 6-0 lead. Jorge Posada will lead it off against Gil Meche, who is still in there. He started, and he is still dealing here in the 5th. Ball 1 to Posada, who is flying out to center, robbed of a hit by David DeJesus, and also drawn a walk. Next pitch, check swing, and it's low and inside. Ball 2, 2-0. It'll be Posada, Cano, and Betemit for the Yankees here in their half of the 5th inning.
Well, I'm sure Buddy Bell would have liked a better performance out of Meche in this ball game. Already up to 88 pitches in the 5th inning. He used 6 relievers yesterday.
There's a call strike.
I'll be looking for Meche's #1 guy to go deeper in this ball game. Pitch count close to 90 already.
Well, the Royals used 6 relievers in yesterday's game. That's high and inside. Ball 3, 3-1. Posada 11 for his last 20. Buddy Bell, the Royals manager, in the middle of your picture there.
He's resigning at the end of the year. Stay on as an advisor.
Ball 4, leadoff walk to Jorge Posada. Second time Posada has walked in this game. That is now 5 base on balls handed out by Gil Meche. There was the left hand of the captain. Looks like it is swollen. Derek Jeter hit by a pitch last inning. Posada drawing that walk today. He has walked 4 times in the last couple of days. They're going to go out and talk to Gil Meche, which is going to give the bullpen time to get going for the Royals here in the 5th inning. Leadoff walk is a red flag for Buddy Bell and probably pitching coach Bob McClure. And Leo Nunez is up for the 2nd time in this game. There's bullpen coach Fred Kendall out there.
Shotgun Kendall used to be a catcher for the San Diego Padres. Was a catching instructor of mine with the Detroit Tigers when Buddy Bell was there. Son Jason Kendall playing for the Cubs right now.
I didn't know his nickname was Shotgun.
Shotgun Kendall. He told me that, so that tells you everything you need to know about that.
Toss over to first to check on Posada. It's almost as if Jorge has drawn the straw from the Kansas City pitching staff. He's going to be the one they're going to be careful with. He's walked 4 times in 2 games. And now here comes Buddy Bell after a throw over the first, and it appears that Nunez will be coming into the ball game. So Gil Meche will work 4 innings plus 1 batter and will leave the contest trailing 6-0. Posada has his responsibility at first base. Buddy Bell has made the call to the bullpen. Leo Nunez will be coming in. Yankees leading 6-0. We'll be right back.
Presented by GMC. It's the episode you've been waiting for. You followed them for months. You've seen the drama unfold. Now the fans face their first elimination, and it all comes down to Brenda or Eddie. Find out who will be the first to go home on the all-new Yes Ultimate Road Trip. Tonight at 7, only on Yes.
Certainly want to tune into that, and tune in right now as Leo Nunez comes out of the bullpen. 23-year-old right-hander. And the Royals got him from the Pirates in exchange for Benito Santiago and cash back in December of 2004. He'll be facing Robinson Cano. And Cano swings and hits a high fly ball into short right field. Drifting back is the second baseman Herman, and he'll make the over-the-shoulder catch for out number 1. So Cano swinging at the first pitch has popped out.
What you call it, just miss. He was right on that fastball and just a little bit too quick and trying to pull it down the right field line. Got out in front, hit it off the end of the bat.
See the head down and follow through, but not quite on the sweet spot.
Yeah. He knew it too. When you see that batter put his head down, he knows he just missed it.
Here is Wilson Betemit. First pitch is in there for a strike to Betemit. We have had a change in scoring on the E4 to Cano in the top half of this inning. You'll want to change that to a base hit. So take away the error, and now the Royals have 5 hits in the game. And here's the play in question.
Well, it's a bang bang play. You either make it or you don't with the Gathright speed, and Robbie was trying to do his best, and he just couldn't hang on to the baseball. I think that's the right call. I think it is an infield hit.
I think you have to take into question or at least the
difficulty of the play,
and who's running.
And who's running,
yeah.
Of course. But that's what makes it difficult is the speed.
No balls and 2 strikes on Betemit. Swings and misses, strike 3. Nunez has come in out of the bullpen, retired the first 2 men he's faced, and that's their stats are everything in baseball. And one of the things for relievers is first batter efficiency. How often do you get that first man out when you come in out of the bullpen?
I know one thing. I'm going to call on Larry Boy when I need a defendant.
He certainly made his feelings known, didn't he? Here's Andy Phillips, who has drawn a walk and scored it flat out the center. He is 0 for 1, and the ball he flat out the center. He had a rocket at David DeJesus in the 3rd inning. Yes, just a little bit outside for ball 1. Let me get the white out here and scrape out this E4 and drop in a base hit for Joey Gathright, who's now 2 for 2. I'm sure Joey likes that call. Breaking ball hits the corner, and it's a ball and a strike on Andy Phillips.
Nunez looks like he'd be known as like a slinger. I mean, he's got that good fastball with a little late movement on it, a nice slider right there. Change up to Robinson Cano.
Last year, Nunez started in Double-A, went to Kansas City, and then eventually went back to Triple-A. Phillips hits one off the end of the bat, and this one's going to twist foul and make it to the seats. Now, Nunez, as I mentioned, was out of the Pirates organization, and he was a pitcher who was groomed almost exclusively to work out of the bullpen. Just from his very beginnings in the minor leagues. His first year he had only 1 start, and after that in the minors he only had 3. And at the major league level he's been exclusively out of the bullpen. .6'1", listed at 175 pounds, and that's on looks like a heavy rainy day like we had the other night. Ground ball to 3rd. Gordon gloves, throws on the run, and gets Andy Phillips, and the Yankees retired in the 5th inning. A leadoff walk, but the Yankees couldn't get it around on the board. At the end of 5, the Yankees lead it 6-0.
To see the game everybody's talking about. WB Mason presents Yankees Encore later after each game and again the next morning at 9 o'clock. Only on Yes.
All right, here on Yes this afternoon, it's 6-0 Yankees as we go to the 6th inning. Would be Herman, Tian, and Brown. 2, 3, and 4 in the Royals order to face Mike Matsui, who's looked very sharp thus far. He's allowed just 5 hits, no runs, and no walks. Moose steals and Herman takes it maybe a little low, a little outside, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. Herman has one of the 5 Royal hits in the game. He's also grounded out or tried to bunt his way on. Nice curveball, 3/4 arm angle, drops it in there for a strike. I think the pitcher that I remember with the most different arm angles, well, there's a couple of them. Remember Louis Tiant, Bobby? He had some arm angles, body angles. He had everything. Inside Herman, and it's 2-1.
He had some head angles to go along with it too. He threw his head around. He shook his head. I mean, whatever. Louis, he's funny.
I think Kurt Gowdy one day said that before the day was over, Louis Tiant would look every fan in the stands in the eye at least one time.
Yeah, right.
El Tiante. Here's a 2-1 pitch. And he tried to check a swing, but went around too far, and it's 2-2 on Herman.
Dick Hauser, Louis was pitching here at Yankee Stadium. Dick Hauser, the manager, went out to take him out of the game, and as Louis was going back to the dugout, he threw his glove up in the stands. He said, "I won't need that anymore."
And another pitcher who had different arm angles is Juan Marichal, a Hall of Famer for the Giants.
High leg kick.
Oh boy. 2-2 pitch. Herman takes inside, straightens up, and count is now run full at 3-2. 2 great pitchers. Here's the payoff pitch to Herman. It's a ground ball, and it's going to get through into center field for a base hit. 2 Yankees had a shot at that with Messina and Jeter, but the ball was hit too hard. Herman has his 2nd hit of the afternoon, a leadoff single here in the 6th.
Well, you get it past 2 Gold Glovers, I guess you deserve a base hit. It was hit pretty hard. Messina made a stab at it. He couldn't get it there, and then just out of the reach of Jeter at shortstop.
You're a Gold Glover like Mike Mussina. That's a play you probably expect to make. He's able to get it by him for the base hit.
That'll bring up Mark Tian. Single into first, flight out to left into third. And that pitch is blown away for ball 1.
I think the best defensive infield that I've seen back in the 70s for the Orioles. Brooks Robinson at third, Belanger at shortstop, Davy Johnson at second, Luke Powell at first base. I mean, if you drove one through that infield, you deserve the base hit.
I'm surprised to hear Boog Powell's name. I just thought of him as a slugger, a home run hitter.
Oh, no, he is very deceiving. I mean, Boog, even though he was a big guy, he moved around first base as good as any slender guy. And he was the sure-handed guy over there, too.
He's still sure-handed out at Boog's Barbecue.
That's right. Well, yeah, he's not cooking up those sandwiches.
He's not going to drop your food.
No.
2 balls and no strikes. Not going to drop his either. 2-0 pitch, and Tian hits it hard. Good stop by Andy Phillips to Jeter for 1. Back on the first. There is a neat 3-6-3 double play. Well turned by Andy Phillips.
Probably the most difficult for the first baseman. Luckily, that ball was hit hard. He gives Jeter a nice throw, and then a nice throw back from Jeter. 3-6-3 double play. And Phillips has manned that first base bag as good as anybody since he got called up.
Second successive inning in which the leadoff batters got on with a base hit and then only to be erased by a double play. So here's Amil Brown. Forced a runner in the first inning, then grounded out to Betemit at third in the 4th. So he's up there with 2 outs and nobody on base. Pitches a call strike, and you brought up the name Mark Belanger, Bobby, and he was a best fielding shortstop I played with. Man, he had some quick hands.
Yeah.
I think he was at least 6 Gold Gloves.
Well, you guys, the Orioles had a lot of good shortstops. Louis Aparicio, played when Louis was playing shortstop. But you're right, Belanger.
He was special.
He was sure, as you were talking about, he's sure-handed as anything. And Brooks at third. And well, if you drove one on the left side past either Brooks or Belanger, it was something.
Off-speed pitch is fouled back by Brown, and this will make it to the seats. Ball and 2 strikes.
That's when the pitcher doesn't mind putting the ball in play. Let the defense take over. I mean, that took a lot of pressure off the pitching staff too.
The first year I got to Baltimore, Davy Johnson moved on to Atlanta, and Bobby Grich was playing second, and he won some Gold Gloves himself.
Was pretty salty too.
And I think Mike Torres came with me in that deal, and Mike led the league in walks, but he won 20 games because he was a sinker ball pitcher and he got double plays all the time.
There you go.
The 1-2 pitch, and it's high, and Brown checks his swing. Messina was trying to get him to swing at that, and he laid off. It's 2-2.
Well, that was during that era too that the Royals had 420 game winners on their team, and you can see why with their defense behind them. Not only them being good pitchers, but also the good defense.
2-2 pitch on the way to Amil Brown, and he's hit by a pitch, and he's going to go down to first base. So what do you think? Retaliation, guys?
I don't think so.
I don't think so with 2 strikes. I mean, he'd thrown him a bunch of breaking balls. I just think he was trying to run a fastball up and in, but it looks like the same spot that Derek Jeter got on the left hand, maybe the left wrist.
Almost the exact same spot.
Yeah. So Brown's down at first.
Now you can see what the pitch is and where it hits his hands. It's just a little bit off the plate, to tell you the truth, but same way with Jeter. I mean, great shot, guys. I mean, that's terrific. That's almost identical, if not identical.
So Brown is down at first, and it'll bring up Ross Gload.
What a crew we got, huh?
Oh man, that is
Mullen, Cooney,
Jeff Estella. Yeah, they just Josh Isaac. This ball is hit well by Ross Gload, and it's not coming back into the upper deck for a 2-run home run. And following the hit by pitch by Amil Brown, Ross Gload makes Mike Messina pay. It's now a 6-2 ball game. And we told you that Gload has been wearing out the Yankees. That is his 13th hit against Yankee pitching this year, and his 4th home run of the season.
He wears out Mike Messina as well, and you see the fastball is supposed to be inside. It runs back to the middle of the plate. Mike Messina probably kicking himself trying to go in there at the short porch in right field, but Gload, you said it, Kenny, has beat up the Yankees. Goes in the upper tank in right field.
Here's Alex Gordon, and he takes an off-speed pitch for a strike. Gordon is struck out and flied out to deep left center field. They're going to have to go over the videotape on Gload. That is his 2nd home run, 2 of the 4 against the Yankees this year. Gordon takes a pitch high, and it's a ball and a strike. Gload homered off the Rocket. .83 pitches now from Messina in the game. Curveball is outside.
Be disappointing for Mike Messina. He had Amil Brown right where he wanted him. See the 100+ pitches in only 2 of his last 18 starts.
Chopper foul.
Yeah, Brown right where he wanted him, and he kind of missed with a fastball that hit him, and then maybe a little bit of lack of concentration, made a mistake with a first pitch fastball to Gload, cost him 2 runs.
Yeah, I mentioned Gload had homered off Clemens. That was in Kansas City, and now he touches up Mike Messina here in the Bronx. Messina trying to get the 3rd out here in the 6th inning. Little looper over second, and it's going to drop in the right center field for a 2-out single for Alex Gordon. Well, that's his first hit of the game. Third hit of the inning for the Kansas City Royals.
Trying to get inside, and that ball just moved back over the plate a little too much. He did get in on the hand. Well, I think that was off the end of the bat more than anything else. And, the strength of Alex Gordon ends up picking up a base hit.
So Ron Guidry's going to go out to the mound and talk to Mike Messina. You know, one thing I was told about Alex Gordon before I even saw him as a player, the Royals were kind of talking about him last year. And one thing they said about Alex Gordon, check out the forearms when you see this young man.
Well, you don't get those base hits unless you're strong. I mean, you got to be able to really be strong and fight that ball off.
Yeah, he's got some ammunition there. Remember years ago, Dick Allen, no matter how hot the day was, he'd wear long sleeves.
Yeah.
And they asked him why he did that. He says, I don't want the pitchers to see the ammunition. Here's John Buck. It pitches outside by ball one. Here's it.
Wow.
I think he's lifted a weight or two. Buck today has flied to right and been called out on strikes. Swing and a miss.
I think Gordon's the only guy that can do that forearm smash with Shelley Duncan. Not get hurt
and come away even.
Right? Come away even.
1-1 on John Buck. Mike Messina still looking for out number 3 here in the 6th. The bullpen has gotten busy. There's Mike Myers. He's on your right. He's the left-hander. The right-handed Bruni is on the left. And pitches inside to John Buck, and it's now 2-1. Messina, when he beat the Royals in Kansas City, went 5 2/3 innings. That's where he stands right now.
Be careful on this pitch right here. I mean, Buck has 16 home runs. He leads this Royal ball club with those 16 home runs. You might see you want to keep the ball down and away from him, take away his power, or tie him up and in.
There it is over the outside corner, levels the count at 2-2. 90-mile-an-hour fastball from Mike Messina. Once again, the Moose calls rain from the stands here at Yankee Stadium. They want Moose to put away Buck. That is outside, and it's 3-2. So Gordon will be running on the 3-2 pitch.
Tries to hit that outside corner again, and he doesn't get it. But, you know, you pitch to the scoreboard. You try and stay away from that big swing that'll get the Royals back in this ball game. This is something a way to keep Buck to the big part of the ballpark.
Swung on and missed. Strike 3. He got him. So the Royals will pick up a couple of runs here in the 6th inning. A 2-run shot by Ross Glode. They'll also leave a runner on base. At the end of 5.5, the Yankees lead the Royals, trying for a sweep. They lead 6-2. The Yankees half of the 6th inning. Big bunt takes a pitch for a strike from Leo Nunez. Nunez working in relief of Gil Meche, who worked 4+ innings, 6 runs, 6 hits, a couple of strikeouts, and 5 walks. There's a pitch low. It's 1-1. Melky has a base hit. That runs a hitting streak to 11. He's also scored 1, driven in 1. He'll be followed by Jeter and Abreu here in the 6th inning. Top of the order for the Yankees. There's a sinker, low, and it's a ball and a strike. Yankees take off and go on the road following tonight's game. They'll be in Toronto. 3-game series starting tomorrow afternoon at Rogers Center. That pitch is high, and it's 3 balls and a strike. Andy Pettitte will be on the mound for the Yankees, and Jesse Licht gets the start for the Toronto Blue Jays. And then that series will continue with night games on Tuesday and Wednesday night. This ball is driven hard but foul on the right field side. Full count now on Melky Cabrera.
Kenny, talking about that road trip, it makes you think, the Yankees really have done a nice job in this stretch of the sub-500 ball clubs, gotten themselves right where they need to be. The challenges lie ahead. Cleveland, Detroit are coming into the stadium after that road trip.
Melky hits this one deep to right field. Going back is Tian. He looks up, and this one is gone. A home run from Melky Cabrera, and it's now a 7-2 Yankee lead. Home run number 7. You're kidding me. The same guy.
No way.
Got that home run as well.
That's a lucky seat.
Earlier in the ball game, Hideki Matsui hit a home run, and that young man caught that one.
Wow.
This is unbelievable.
Yeah, they're going to make another call, too.
Here is Derek Jeter. Singled, walked, and been hit by a pitch. 1 for 1. First pitch is outside, ball 1.
All right, what are the odds of that? You're not going to believe this, but I've been at Yankee Stadium all afternoon. I've caught 2 home runs.
And from a Yankee standpoint, they might want him to sit there all year.
Now, if it's the Matsui, that's when Hideki hit his 100th home run as a Yankee. And this is Melky Cabrera. And he just kind of the recipient as he looked down. He was there. Now, if he catches a 3rd one, I'm out of here. I'm going out and touch that guy is what I'm going to do.
2 balls. He's going straight to Vegas after the ball game. 2 balls and a strike on Jeter.
You better mark it. You may get mixed up on who's whose.
That's ball 3 to Jeter. Is that what's high and wide?
I know they had Alex Rodriguez's balls all marked. I'm not sure about these.
Well, the Yankees are closing in on a team record. That's ball 4. Derek draws a walk. The Yankees have hit 20 home runs in their last 6 ball games now. The team record is actually 21. And that was back in 2002. So they've got to go deep at least one more time today to tie that record. Bobby Abreu homered yesterday. Is 2 for 3 today with a couple of runs batted in. And the Yankees have scored 7 runs, and now in their last 9 home games here at Yankee Stadium, they've scored at least 7. You go back to 1938, they had 7 or more runs in 11 straight home games. That's the team record. We're shouting out all these Yankee records, offensive records of late. A-Rod is on deck. Jeter's on first, nobody out. The Yankees have a run in on a solo home run by Melky Cabrera leading off the inning. That pitch is low, and it's a ball and a strike on Bobby Abreu. It's almost hard to say who is the hottest of the hot. Bobby, if you had to pick a guy, who would you say is the hottest on the team right now?
Say,
see, it's not easy, is it?
I'd say Abreu or Cano.
Yeah, that's 2 guys. I want one.
Okay. Let me wait and see how Abreu does at bat. Okay.
Okay. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Abreu.
Bob Lorenz said up in the studio the other day, he trapped me. He said, predict when Alex is going to hit his 500th. I said today. I said that day. It wasn't today. But and then the next day he said, well, you got a chance to redeem yourself. What do you say today? And I say he's not going to hit it today.
It's high, and it's 2-2 at Abreu. How about Melky?
Yeah.
Melky's hitting 11 straight now.
Showing some power, too.
2 hits today. Got 6 in this series.
What's impressive about Melky, he hits 2nd on Friday night. He hits 9th yesterday, and then he comes up today and leads off. And out of all the positions in the lineup, he's producing.
Abreu spoils a tough pitch, and the count holds at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, I know that the Yankee fans out there who like to watch the offense roll, they've been around for the last, this homestand. They have been impressed. Don't want to leave your seat and go get something to drink because you might miss something. 2-2 on Bobby Abreu. Hits this one well, but it's going to twist foul and go into the seats down the left field line.
You know, you were talking about missing something yesterday in the first inning when Alex hit his 500th home run. His wife wasn't here. She hadn't gotten to the stadium yet, so she didn't get a chance to see it.
You know, Cynthia. I think she just came in time to see him touch home plate.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
But she didn't see the home run.
No,
she just knew that he hit it.
Well, I'm sure she had a good chance to see it on the, the encore, Yankee encore.
I'm sure.
Jeter's on the move. The pitch to Abreu is outside for a ball. The throw to second is not in time. It's going to be a stolen base for Derek Jeter, his 12th of the season.
Well, Derek, a smart base runner, a smart base stealer. He picks a changeup to run on. And obviously he beats him plenty of time. John Buck has a good arm, kind of takes a little bit longer to get rid of it than most catchers. Still a strong throw, but Derek Jeter just picks his spots.
So Jeter's at second with nobody out, and a 3-2 pitch on the way to Abreu, and he hits it hard to the right side and on through for a base hit. Jeter's going to be held at third as Tien comes up with it quickly, and the Yankees have runners at first and third with nobody out as Abreu comes up with his 3rd hit of the afternoon. Now, if I ask you again, Bobby, who are you going to say?
I'm going with Abreu. It's really close, though.
Yeah, you're right. Here's Alex Rodriguez, who is the DH this afternoon. A-Rod is 0 for 2 with a sacrifice fly. He drove in his 109th run of the year in the 4th inning. His sacrifice fly drove in Derek Jeter from third. He's got Jeter third in this at-bat with nobody out. A-Rod, 3rd time this year he's been the DH. And in those games he's gone 3 for 8. Or making 3 for 10 now with the 0 for 2 today. Toss over the first to check on Abreu. And A-Rod's career, he's only been designated hitter 12 times. And he's gone 12 for 37 with a couple of home runs. And now today, an opportunity as a designated hitter, an opportunity again to drive in some runs. Pitch is on the way, and that is in there for a call strike.
Kenny, I think you mentioned it the other day. He had 6 bats by his locker, and I was kind of wondering why he had so many out, but now we know. I mean, he signed bats for all of his teammates and coaches with the date yesterday on there with a 500th home run. I mean, it's It's nice when your teammates think about you like that and give you a memento. I remember Roger Clemens got his 300th win here, and he left a baseball from that game in everybody's locker.
Nice stop by John Bug. The count will even up with a ball and a strike.
Well, just saves for them having to ask you somewhere down the line. But I think it's an excellent gesture. And one of the things that, besides hitting his 500th, he said one of the things that was highlight of that day was when all my teammates came out to congratulate me, and they seemed to be just as happy as I was about hitting number 500.
Abreu's on the move. The pitcher Rodriguez is hitting the air down the right field line, and it's going to go foul. So the Yankees are.
They keep putting the pressure. I mean, they keep putting pressure on you. Just can't. That's what we were talking about. All the teammates coming out of the dugout to greet Alex and congratulating him on his 500. That's a special feeling, you know. Normally they wait in the dugout and give you the greeting, but all the teammates came out on the field to say how happy they were about that.
Nunez steps off.
You know, sometimes, especially if you're a rookie, you get your first home run, or if you hadn't hit a home run in a long time, they give you the silent treatment. You know, they act like you didn't even do anything. Would that have been something they done that yesterday? Giving him the silent treatment. I don't think that would have gone over very good, though.
No, a lot of people would have read a lot of things into that.
No kidding.
Here's the 1-2 pitch, and A-Rod fouls it at the plate. The count remains a ball and 2 strikes. Yankees leading 7-2, trying for a sweep. And here's the Yankees 500 home run club, 500th career home run as a Yankee. Babe Ruth, August 11th, 1929 at Cleveland. And the pitcher was Willis Hudlin. May 14th, 1967, right here at the big ballpark off of Stu Mill of the Orioles. Mickey Mantle hit one into the lower deck in right field for number 500. Then, of course, yesterday.
I faced Stu Miller. He couldn't break a pane of glass. In fact, he couldn't wait to get up there, but boy, he sure would make you look silly.
A lot of change of speed.
Oh, change of speeds. And I remember the first time that I saw Stu pitch, I think he was pitching against Mickey at that time in Baltimore. And I thought, I can't wait to get up there.
Abreu's going again, and another pitch fouled off to the right and into the seat. So Abreu will come back to first. Here's a look back at that day as Mickey Mantle at the plate. 1967, May 14th. If I remember correctly, it was kind of a cloudy day as Mickey hit one into the seats in the lower deck, and number 500. He would hit 36 more in his Hall of Fame career.
I think Stu Miller also was the guy that was blown off the mound, I think, in an All-Star game out in San Francisco. I think Candlestick Park.
Candlestick Park. You're right, for a balk.
The wind got him. I can attest to that.
That was I hated that place.
Thank you.
Yeah. It was a place built for football. That's what they're playing in it now. But the count is 1-2 on A-Rod. Well, he's had a lengthy at bat here. Swings and misses. Strike 3. The length is done, and so is he. He's 0 for 3 now. As there is one out. Runners first to third, and Hideki Matsui will come to the plate.
We're going to take a look at the pitch by pitch from Nunez. Good fastball down in the zone. Alex Rodriguez for strike 1. A slider down, an outstanding block by Buck. Fastball up and away. Alex fouls it off, and that looks like a changeup, which you've seen is a good pitch from Nunez. Another changeup he fouls off, and then he comes with that good tight slider on the outside corner for the strikeout.
Nunez looks like he's about 15 years old, doesn't he? Here's Matsui, who swings at the first pitch. There's a drive to fairly deep right field. Teen has it measured, though. Makes the catch. Jeter's going to tag at third, come in to score. A sacrifice fly for Hideki Matsui, and the Yankees lead 8-2. Fans are getting to expect every fly ball to be going out of the ballpark. They kind of got a rise out of that one.
Why not? As many home runs that the Yankees have been hitting. But the Yankees have also done very well during this streak, too, of driving that runner in at third base with less than 2 outs and getting that run across home plate.
Wonder if our buddy in the right field seats got excited when that ball was coming out there again. It looked like he had a chance for that one.
Here is Jorge Posada. There goes Abreu. He's on the run. The ball is hit in the air to short left center field. Gathright has speed, though. He's coming on, makes the catch, and the Yankees are retired here in their half of the 6th inning. But they pick up 2 more runs. Melky Cabrera with a home run and Hideki Matsui with a sacrifice fly. It's 8-2 Yankees.
Experience an emotional moment in baseball history as Yankees Classics presents Farewell to the Captain. Relive all the drama of the game played on the day of Thurman Munson's funeral. Plus, hear exclusive interviews with Bobby Mercer and Ken Singleton as they share their personal memories of that game. It's the premiere of the Yankees Classics Farewell to the Captain tomorrow night at 9 o'clock, only on Yes.
Well, back here at the stadium, we go to the top of the 7th inning. Joey Gathright leads it off against Messina. And the first pitch is down low, ball 1 to Gathright. Gathright 2 for 3 this afternoon. He bounced a slow one to Robbie Cano in his last time at bat, and it scored it an error, but then later changed their mind to a base hit, and that pitch in there for a called strike. So Gathright 2 for 3. Yankees lead at 8-2 over the Royals, and Mike Messina pitching here into the 7th inning. He's only done that 1 time this year. That was against the Arizona Diamondback, 7 2/3 in which they won that ball game. Did that back on June the 13th. 2 balls and a strike to Gathright. On deck is Tony Pena, followed by David DeJesus. Boy, what a beautiful afternoon it has been for baseball. And Messina trying to stick a fastball on the inside corner, misses for ball 3, 3-1. Low humidity. Now Messina with 96 pitches, 60 strikes. On the outside corner for strike 2. Now it's 3-2. Now Betemit at third base will move back and in on the grass for protecting against the bunt. We're talking about that blue sky. Tough sky to catch a fly ball. Lots of sunshine. And a slash in the left field for another base hit for Gathright. And he is 3 for 3 this afternoon.
He's got 6 hits in this series, Bobby. He's been a thorn in the Yankee side.
I think that's going to be all for the Moose. Henry on the phone. Joe Torre on his way to the mound, and with 97 pitches now. An 8-2 lead. Joe's going to go to the bullpen. A lot of Moose calls. They've got a change here at the stadium. We'll be back right after this. Major League Baseball. Mike Messina leaves the game with the lead. 8-2, 6 innings pitched, 9 hits, 2 runs. Didn't walk anybody. That's pretty much a vintage Mike Messina, and he struck out 3. Brian Bruni will come on. Those are his numbers. He pitched against the Royals yesterday in yesterday's win here at Yankee Stadium. In the 6th inning, he struck out the side. First pitch hitting Tony Pena. Could be 2. Cano back to first, and it is a 5-4-3 double play. And even though Betemit did give Cano a very good throw at second base, his agility and his arm made up for it.
Well, Brian Bruni, not known as a ground ball pitcher. Betemit gets it. Does not give a good throw, like you said, Bobby, but the athletic ability of Robinson Cano, able to take this ball off of the ground at the backhand, and the strong arm, the flip of the wrist, plenty on that throw. Nice stretch by Andy Phillips. We've seen a couple of double plays from Robinson Cano today. The athletic ability around the bag, and Mike Messina appreciates it.
Might actually see Betemit apologize for Robinson for the throw he gave, but Robinson will probably say, just get it over here any way you can.
Sort of looks that way, doesn't it? David DeJesus, ball 1 to him. DeJesus 0 for 3. One and one.
You know, guys, you start talking about the streaks in baseball, you know, hitting streaks, and now Robinson Cano's on fire, and Bobby Abreu's on fire, and the Yankees are hoping maybe Mike Messina has found something in line to win his 3rd game in a row here, beginning of August. I think he hasn't found his stride yet this year. You wonder maybe the last 2 months if he might find his groove and run off 8 or 10.
Talked about Mike Messina's control. Today was his 7th no-walk game this season, so 7 games with no walks. Up high for a ball. Now Bruni 1 pitch away from walking DeJesus with 2 outs. DeJesus with a 13-game hitting streak on the line. Outside, ball 4, so a 2-out walk by Brian Bruni to DeJesus, and the Royals will have a man on here at the 7th.
I think the most abrupt and end of a hitting streak. We're doing a game in Seattle, and I think Ichiro had a 20-something hitting streak going, game hitting streak, and El Duque was pitching for the Yankees, and he had him 0 for 3 going into his last at bat, and hit him with a pitch, and the fans started booing at Safeco Field. That was the end of his hitting streak.
Herman now will step in. He's singled at his last 2 at bats, so he's 2 for 3. And he's going to be 3 for 4 now with that sharp single up the middle. So with 2 outs, here come the Kansas City Royals.
I'll tell you what, Buddy Bell made the right call by putting Herman in there today. This is a frozen rope back through the middle. Pitch was right down the middle, and a little bat toss at the end of this.
Whee! They have another pitching change. We take another look at that base hit by Herman. And Joe Torre on his way to the mound. Buddy Bell watching Joe make that slow walk out to the pitcher's mound. Buddy's been having to do that quite a few times. That's going to be like Mike Myers coming into the game. So another pitching change here in the 7th inning. We'll be back right after this.
To MLB.tv, and you can still watch every Yankees game when you're out of their broadcast territory right on your computer screen. Visit www.yankees.com for more details, because with MLB.tv, baseball is always on. Blackout restrictions apply.
Well, the details here at Yankee Stadium, as you take a look at Mike Myers' numbers this year, he's going to be facing a left-handed hitter at Martin. 2 men on, 2 men out for the Kansas City Royals with an 8-2 game. And the curveball outside for ball 1. Brian Bruni started this inning and gave up a base hit to Joey Gathright. Then Tony Pena hit into a double play, so a quick 2 outs, and then a 2-out walk and then a base hit. And Joe Torre summons Mike Myers to try to get out this left-handed hitter.
Had a discussion with Mike Myers before the game today about his delivery and his approach to hitters. And I brought up the name Dan Quisenberry, who's a great reliever, late Dan Quisenberry for these Royals back in the Royal heyday in the late 70s and the 80s. And Quisenberry was a submariner. And I always felt when I faced him that he would rely on his delivery to get that first strike on there. It's the unusual way he threw the ball. He'd really try and throw that first one for a strike. And he'd usually throw it towards the middle of the plate. And I always felt that was the best one to hit against him. Because when he got ahead on the count, then he started going for the corners. And that made him even more difficult to hit the way he threw the ball. So my approach was crowd the plate, because he didn't throw all that hard, and try and get something I could really pull.
That's a pretty good pitch, but Myers this year hasn't gotten any of the left-handed hitters to really to bite at that, because that's a pitch that gets you leaning out over the over the plate, you know, looking for something on the outside part of the plate, and with his delivery, that ball naturally kind of comes back in and down on the left-handed hitter. When you face Takovi, you know his. You take a look at Jeff Carson's warming up now, and Takovi's fastball underneath is always going to go down and away from the left-hander, and the thing that you really had to protect on was that little slider that he threw in on your hands as you were leaning over the plate. Three balls, two strikes. The runners will be off, and there they go. Line back up the middle, base hit. One run will score. Melky bobbles it. They're going to wave around him, Germán, and he's going to score. And the Royals have come up with 2 runs here in the 7th inning. And the Yankees now lead at 8-4.
Here's a look at the base hit, and Tia does a good job. This is not a bad pitch. Down and away, and does exactly what he should. Back through the middle. He's going to get himself 1 RBI out of this, as De Jesus is going to score, and Germán will follow when Melky Cabrera Rover runs the ball in center field off the edge of his glove, and that's going to allow the second run to score. So there's going to be 1 run batted in for Tien, and an error on Melky Cabrera that allows Germán to score the 4th run.
And now the middle of the lineup, Amil Brown will face Mike Myers.
What's disappointing about this inning, Brian Bruni comes in and does such a nice job getting the double play on Tony Pena, and then walks De Jesus with 2 outs. Probably the most frustrating part of the inning, and it's led to a few runs.
1-1.
All this has happened with 2 outs and nobody on.
One and 2. Well, you've scored a lot of runs, and you were leading 8-2, and all of a sudden here in the 7th inning, latter innings, Kansas City's probably thinking that they're not going to be able to win this game, and you've given them new life, and you've got that bench moving around. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And that's inside for ball 2, 2-2. On deck is Ross Glode, who has been a real pain in the side to the Yankees.
That's the reason why Mike Myers is still in there. The next 2 hitters are left-handed.
Back up the middle. Myers will run it halfway and trip to Phillips, and finally the inning is over with here at the top of the 7th inning. But the Royals come up with 2 runs, and the Yankees now lead at 8-4, and we're going to stay here at the stadium for the playing of God Bless America here in the half inning. So we're going to turn it over to Bob Shepard.
Now, please offer a moment of silent prayer as we remember the servicemen and women who are stationed around the globe, and especially remember those who have lost their lives defending our freedom and our way of life. And now, please join Kate Smith as she sings God Bless America.
Thank you, Bob. Back here at the stadium, Robbie Cano leading it off for the Yankees here at the bottom of the 7th inning. He swings at the first pitch, lines it down the right field line, foul. So the Royals coming up with 2 runs at the top of the 7th. It's an 8-4 Yankee lead. And Robbie Cano 0 for 2 this afternoon officially. He has scored a run, but he has an 8-game hitting streak on the line. And Robbie now got his average up to 310. That'll be out of play off to the left side over the Royal dugout. Leo Nunez, who begins this inning, came into the game in the 5th inning for Gil Meche. With nobody out, a runner on at first base for the Yankees. So Nunez trying to keep it as close as he can. The Royals got 2 runs back in the last inning, so new life for the Royals. Well hit into center field, but right to DeJesus for the first out.
Just saw Buddy Bell on the bench there, and this is a chance for Nunez to impress his manager.
Wilson Betemit swings and misses. Betemit 1 for 3 this afternoon. He also scored a run when the Yankees scored 4 in the 2nd inning. The foul up to the right side.
Kenny, you said it. It's a chance for this young pitcher Nunez to make an impact or make an impression. I like his delivery. I see how he kind of jumps right here at you. I mean, he's got a good fastball, but it looks like his best pitch is his changeup. A lot of times the delivery of a pitcher like that when he jumps towards home plate actually there's some deception there on the changeup. It looks like it's his best pitch.
Yeah, we've talked many times before about if you're a youngster out there and you want to learn to pitch before you start learning the breaking balls, as it's call strike 3 on Wilson Betemit, you start learning how to throw a changeup and control the ball.
It's kind of short, compact, big leg kick, and then he jumps at you right here. And as a hitter, you feel like he's coming with probably more velocity than he has because of the motion. And it's a changeup, and you can see it's got good movement down and away. But he sells that pitch out on the mound where you think it looks like a fastball coming and you're completely fooled. Good pitch.
Yeah, it's his 3rd strikeout.
Phillips now stepping in with 2 men out and swung on and missed. Phillips 0 for 2 today. Would that be something that you would want to teach a 12-year-old instead of a breaking ball as a changeup, right?
Fastball change. Right. You can get a lot of kids out in Little League with fastball changeup.
Yeah, everybody wants to throw the breaking ball, but two things: it's a better pitch, probably to learn for a young person, and it's easier on your elbow, right?
I don't think there's any doubt when you talk about young pitchers, you want to stay away from that curveball slider probably until maybe sophomore year of high school. I've heard, there are different theories on it. I would stay away from it until at least high school. You got a good changeup, best pitch in the big leagues if you have a good one.
The Yankees called up a kid, Edward Ramirez, who has one of the best changeups we've seen of anybody, and that's what he usually gets all of his hitters out with. High fly ball, fairly deep into center field, and Jesus is going to catch up with it right on the warning track in center field. So Nunez puts the Yankees down 1-2-3 here in the 7th inning. 7th inning, 8-4 Kansas, 8-4 New York.
And it'll be Ross Gload who will face Mike Myers. He'll be followed by Alex Gordon, then John Buck. Gload is 2 for 3. A double and a home run. A bloop double down the left field line. And then homered into the upper deck. That was in the 6th inning. A 2-run shot. And he spoils this one, fouls it off to the left, and it's a ball and a strike. Gload looking to home run, his second against the Yankees this year.
It was a fastball. Mike Mussina tried to go inside. He just left the middle of the plate, and Gload knew what to do with it. He's enjoying his time back in New York from Long Island. A good series.
Sloan inside. He was born in Brooklyn.
Actually played for the Bayside Yankees. I guess it's his summer team out on Long Island. That's pretty well known. A lot of good players have gone through that system here in New York.
2-1 pitch, and line drive to Jeter. Almost called that a hit. Gload put it in play, but Jeter comes up with it, and there's one out here in the 8th.
Seems like he's on everything, and left on left. You can see the approach is just middle of the field. Hits this ball fairly well. Derek Jeter just going to his left. An easy play for him.
Well, there's one out, and it'll bring up Alex Gordon. By the way, we mentioned the possibility of another sellout crowd today. That has become a reality here at Yankee Stadium. Here's a pitch to Gordon, and that pitch is in there for a call strike. 54,525. the 28th sellout of the season thus far for the Yankees. A lot of energy in this ballpark day in and day out, or night in and night out. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and Gordon hits a high fly ball to left field for Matsui. He has a beat on it and makes the catch, and there are 2 outs.
Hey fans, today and throughout the Yankee season on Yes, we're allowing you to vote along with your Yankee announcers for the Chevrolet Player of the Game. Text your vote to 58772, or for more information visit ChevyOffers.com. You can vote right up to the end of the game, and vote now to make your voice heard. Number 1, Mike Mussina. Number 2, Bobby Abreu. Number 3, Melky Cabrera. Number 4, Hideki Matsui. And standard text messaging rates apply.
Here's John Buck, who is a fly to right, struck out twice, 0 for 3. Mike Myers trying to retire the Royals, 1-2-3. Here in the 8th, they've only gone out in order 1 other inning. That was the 2nd. Swing and a miss, and it's 1-2. Yankees trying to sweep today, take a happy flight to Toronto, and then start up baseball again tomorrow afternoon against the division rival Toronto Blue Jays. Well, that one just missed, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Myers thought he had strike 3. Trying to pick off the outside corner, missed again, and the count goes to 3 balls and 2 strikes. Buck played the opening game of this series. Struck out 3 times, so he has struck out 5 times, but now gets on base. So he draws a 2-out walk. That is the first walk charged to Meyer. Only the 2nd walk that the Yankees have handed out in this ball game. Now it's time for the Royals in-game box score. That is sponsored by Hummer. Good day for Esteban Herman. He's got 3 hits. The same for Joey Gathright in the A spot. He is 3 for 3. 2 hits for Ross Gload, including a home run. Martinez had a couple of hits and a run batted in. They have done most of the damage for the Royals, but they are on the short end, although they've out-hit the Yankees 11-8. The Yankees lead 8-4. Ron Guidry out to talk to Mike Myers. The Yankee bullpen is busy again with 2 outs in the 8th. Mariano Rivera begins to warm up leisurely in the bullpen. Flash, you were saying it doesn't take him long to get going.
No, I was just thinking that watching him, I mean, he goes at his own pace, and once he sees the game dictate that he might be in there, it's maybe 2 or 3 good ones, and he pops and he's ready to go.
Here's Gathright, 3 for 3, and takes a pitch inside, ball 1. As Kitty used to say, it doesn't take long to warm up a Rolls Royce. Or an RV, in this case for Kitty. There goes the runner as Buck will move down to 2nd on the defensive indifference. So now the Royals have a runner in scoring position with 2 outs. Gathright take that's a call strike. That one got the corner, and it's 2-1. Gathright with 3 for 3 today is 6 for 10 in this series. Since coming back from Omaha, it's a nice city, but it looks like he's decided he don't want to go back. 2-2 now as he fouls a pitch off. Kansas City this afternoon, 2 for 6 with runners in scoring position. This is the first time that Gathright has batted with an opportunity to drive in a run. Breaking ball lined into left field for a base hit. Cabrera's up with it in left center. Buck is being waved home. He will score, and Joey Gathright is 4 for 4. And it's now an 8-5 ball game.
It's been a couple of 2-out walks that have hurt the Yankees. Brian Bruni last inning, this inning Mike Myers walks Buck the catcher, and Gathright just does another nice job of hitting, just going the other way. Stays inside this ball, flips it the other way. He's going to get himself a 2-out RBI. Yankees lead 8-5. It's going to bring Joe Torre out to the mound.
First time that Gathright has had a 4-hit game in his career. And he'll take the ball from Mike Myers, and Mariano Rivera will be coming in from the bullpen. Try and pick up the last out here in the 8th inning. And then pitch into the 9th for a save. Talking about WB Mason presents Yankees Encore later after each game, and again the next morning at 9. That's only on Yes. So Mo is in the game, and he comes in with 2 outs and a runner at first, and the Yankees up by 3 as the Royals have scored 2 times in the 6th, 2 times in the 7th, and then they have scored once here in the 8th for their 5 runs. It's Mariano on the season. His ERA under 3. 46 strikeouts in 45 and a third innings. He's going to face a pinch hitter. Jason Smith will hit for Tony Pena Jr. First pitch swung on and missed for strike 1. Smith has been the busiest of the Royals pinch hitters this year. He's had 12 at bats. I think him the second busiest. Herman's had 14, but Smith's only had 1 hit in those 12 pinch hit at bats. It's a high fly ball to center field. Melky Cabrera will make the catch, and the Royals are done here in the 8th inning. They do pick up a run to close within 3 as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. The Yankees have the lead here, going for a sweep. They lead 8-5. Yankees up, bottom of the 8th. They are also up on the scoreboard by a score of 8-5. Melky Cabrera's had a couple hits this afternoon, scored 2 runs, hit a home run. Solo shot in the 6th inning. Takes a call strike from Leo Nunez. Melky in the leadoff spot this afternoon, swings and hits a high fly ball. This is in the short left field. Jason Smith will make the catch. Smith batted for Tony Pena and stayed in to play defensively at shortstop. Time for the in-game box score, sponsored by Hummer, the Yankee in-game box. There's Melky at the top with a 2 for 5. Derek Jeter 1 for 1. Bobby Abreu, another good afternoon. 3 hits, 2 runs batted in. A-Rod with an RBI and a sac fly. He's 0 for 3. Hideki Matsui's hit a home run, had a couple of runs batted in, also had a sacrifice fly. Jorge Posada 0 for 2. Robinson Cano 0 for 3. Wilson Betemit 1 for 4. And Andy Phillips 0 for 3 with a walk and a run score. And that rounds it out for the Yankees. Here's Jeter. It's a slow roller foul. Jeter actually got his hit in the 1st inning, single, then walked, was hit by a pitch, walked again. When he was hit by a pitch, he scored in the 4th. When he walked in the 7th, make that the 6th inning, he also scored, had a stolen base. Swing and a miss, and it's 0-2.
Nunez just looks like he's gaining more confidence as this game goes on. Good fastball right there, 94 miles an hour up in the zone. Talked about it a little bit yesterday. This is audition time for the Kansas City Royals the last couple of months here. See what pieces of the puzzle are going to fit.
Jeter called that on strikes. Adam Dowdy with the emphatic called strike rate.
We talked about his changeup. Here's a little slider on the outside corner, and said it, Adam Dowdy. 4 strikeouts for Nunez right there, but he punches out Derek Jeter. Buddy Bell is just going to sit back the last couple of months, and if you're a young player, you get a chance to make an impression here.
Yeah, he won't be the manager next year, but he can make some recommendations about player and personnel, and it should be interesting to see what his input will be after he leaves the managerial role with these Kansas City Royals. Here's Bobby Abreu. Very good day. Inside for a ball.
Well, Nunez's job was, when he came in, I mean, the Yankees were leading, I think, 8-2 at that time, and Nunez just try to hold the Yankees where they're at, let the KC Royals try to catch up if they can.
3 hits for Abreu. I used to have the formula. 1 hit in the game was okay. If you got 2, it was good. If you got 3 hits, that was very good, and 4 was outstanding. So Bobby Abreu's had a very good day. Nice little formula, don't you think, Flash?
My formula was a lot different, Kenny.
Yeah.
If you got a walk in a game, that was outstanding.
Got to set your standards high. That pitch is high. It's 3 balls and no strikes.
The reason I picked him is being one of the hottest hitters on this Yankee ball club.
You were right on the nose, too. I'll tell you. You waited for that 3rd hit, then you picked him. 3-0 pitch, and he takes a strike here, and it's 3-1. You want to go for 4, Bobby?
Nah, when you're doing good, you just kind of sit back and enjoy it.
Yeah, okay. Nunez will deal the 3-1 pitch, and Abreu takes high for ball 4. So Abreu's been on base 4 times, 3 singles and a walk. He's driven in 2 runs, and up steps Alex Rodriguez, who's 0 for 3, but he's driven in a run with a sacrifice fly that came in the 4th inning. Now A-Rod has done one thing this year that only 2 other players have done. He has homered on the first pitch of an at-bat 7 times this season. Torrey Hunter's done it, and Jose Guillen has done it. Ground ball to short. Smith has it, goes for the force at second on Abreu, and the Yankees are retired to the 8th. Last chance for the Kansas City Royals. They trail by 3. They have to face Mariano Rivera in the 9th. Yankee fans want more than just the typical post-game coverage. Well, stay tuned after the last half of the Nissan post-game with Bob Lorenz to get in-depth highlights and analysis of this finale with the Royals. Plus, Kim Jones covers the clubhouse for interviews you won't get anywhere else. The Nissan post-game only on Yes. Mariano Rivera will face the top of the order for the Royals here in the ninth inning. Royals down to their last 3 outs. The Jesus at the plate is 0 for 3, and he hits slow roller to the right side. Mariano has it, flips to first, and 1 pitch, 1 out here in the ninth inning. Royals down to their last 2 outs. By the way, the Tigers lost this afternoon, so if the Yankees can win this game, they would move to within a half game of the Tigers in the wild card, for the lead in the wild card. But later on, Seattle and the Red Sox will, I think they might be underway out on the West Coast. And if Seattle wins that game, they will take over the wild card lead. They started the day just a half a game behind the Tigers in the wild card race. Kind of don't know who to root for out there. Root for Boston or you root for Seattle?
You can never root for Boston, can you? I mean, that's one of those things I don't think you're allowed to do if you're a Yankee fan.
I certainly haven't.
That would be tough. 0-1 to count on Herman, who has had a very good day. 3 hits. That's high and inside. That moves him off the plate. It's a ball on a strike. Herman's also scored a run. 3 for 4 in the afternoon.
You're always looking for that cutter. Herman gets reminded that Mariano has a nice little 2-seamer that's going to run in on him.
It's amazing how hitters can go from 6 foot to 6'2" in a hurry. Just straighten right up. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and that just missed the corner. 95 miles an hour. Mariano with a chance for a save. Fouled off by Herman. Levels the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Yankees with a win today would sweep the series against Kansas City and go 5 out of 6 on this homestand after winning 2 out of 3 against the Chicago White Sox to start the homestand. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Herman is out number 2. Royals down to their last out.
Well, the cutter on the outside part of the plate, and Herman just couldn't catch up with it. Didn't look like he may even be able to reach it. So Herman makes the second out with the strikeout.
And that'll leave it up to Martin. The Royals right fielder has a hit. I'll make that 2 hits today. And 4 at-bats. He also has driven in a run. Call, strike 1. Mariano didn't hit the target that time, but he got a strike.
You know, Kenny, you talk about the 5 out of 6 on this homestand, and the Yankees have done everything that they were supposed to do. You know, take care of the Royals, now get on the road and get off to a good start tomorrow in Toronto. Look forward to that Cleveland series as well.
Swung on and missed, and the count is 0-2. Royals down to their last strike. Yankee fans on their feet, anticipating a Yankee sweep. Ground ball to third for Betemit. On the backhand, the long throw across the diamond is in time, and the Yankees win it by a score of 8-5. They sweep the Kansas City Royals, and Mariano Rivera will pick up his 17th save of the season. Well, the Yankees got out early, but the Royals tried to come back in this one. But all the smiles are on the fans of the players in the pinstripes. Melky Cabrera had himself a home run this afternoon, his 7th of the season, and he celebrates with his compatriot Robinson Cano. Joe Torre and the Yankees will hit the road. They've got a flight shortly after the ball game, headed for Toronto. They start a 3-game series with the Blue Jays tomorrow afternoon at Rogers Center. Wilson Betemit had a hit in 4 at-bats and scored a run as he played third base for the first time for the Yankees. And that's Bobby Abreu, the right fielder, who had 3 hits and a walk, reached base 4 times. So the Yankees win it by a score of 8-5 as they were out hit by the Royals, but in the all-important run column, the Yankees win it. They get a lot of applause from the fans here at Yankee Stadium behind the first base dugout as the Yankees approach the dugout before going into the clubhouse. Right now, we're going to go back down near the dugout, and Kim Jones is standing by. Kim.
Thank you, Kenny. Bobby, 5 of 6 on this homestand. It seems like you guys are doing what you have to do to get back in the race.
Yeah, we're doing pretty good right now. We scored a lot of runs with we just do a little things, to make them, to win the game, and that's what we have to do. Just win some series, and just move on.
You might be the hottest hitter of the group, but this lineup has all been so productive. How does it happen that everyone starts swinging the bats well at once?
For some reason, we just put everything together. I mean, the whole lineup right now is doing such a good job right now. We be on base, we stole bases, we move the runners. Everyone, hit with the runners score position. So I think everything right now is click. So and we have to just keep it like that.
You're also doing a lot of damage with 2 outs to put pressure on that pitcher. Talk about that hit in the second inning, 2 outs, bases loaded. You come up with a 2-run single.
It was good. It was good. I mean, he threw me just a fast. He started with a changeup, and after that he came in with a fastball. I make pretty good contact on it. I just tried to just hit the ball to the middle, and finally get him there, drop the ball, get the base to the middle, and we scored a couple of runs there. So I think we have to just that's one of the ways to keep the rally going, and everybody just keep scoring.
Let's keep scoring. Thank you, Bobby.
Thank you,
Kenny.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Bobby. Yankees win by a score of 8-5, and wow, that's a good feeling when you head out on the road after a sweep. We've got much more to come from Yankee Stadium. We'll be back in just a moment. Yankees celebrate an 8-5 victory.